Yeah, Christian, you recording?
Yes.
All right, we will return to Animal Planet presents Incest in the Nest. Birds of a feather flock each other. Right after this. Annoying pronunciations, stereotypes, callbacks, jocks versus nerds. All of this and more on this edition of Sequel Men, the podcast.
That was great.
Yeah, that strong start, Spencer.
I was going to use
Thank
the
you.
actual F word, but I thought, nah, that's too strong of a start.
Not
Bring
right
us in.
away.
I'll bring us in.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're all in this together. In this new episode of Sequel Men, the podcast, that was a really bad rendition of that song. But I'm singing
Sure
it for a
was.
reason. I'm Christian Bring It All, and with me, as always, with a special guest, is go ahead, you guys.
Okay, hey, Spencer, hi, how are you? Oh man, got my fedora, and I just found this in my closet, and I thought, you know what?
Maybe you should have left it there.
Or whatever the hell they do. To my immediate right, your immediate center. If you're listening in both ears, if you're listening to the left, is in the left. If you're listening to the right, is in the right. If you got a Bluetooth speaker, is right there in the shower with you. That's where I listen to my Bluetooth speaker when I'm washing up the stink. Speaking of stink, my main man standing at about 5'8.5" on a good day. If he's wearing platform shoes, if he's not about 5 foot head, regular straight up and down, if he's standing up, he's the voice of the Laker marching band. He likes to plug himself. Joel, the voice. Powie!
And you're about to watch and hear me plug myself once more. Hello, everybody. Yes, it is I. My villain intro. It
plug
is
yourself
I.
later. We got another guest to get to.
Voice of this podcast, voice of the Lake Marching Band. Like he said, find me on my social medias, jpvoicedj.com. That's my website. I think it's still active. I'm not paying for it anymore, so we'll see what happens with that in Wix. Anyway, go ahead.
Thanks a lot, Biden. I don't know.
Okay.
To Christians' immediate right, to Joel's immediate left, to my, if I'm looking, 2 people over, you're going to hear a voice that you have not heard on this podcast before. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, making her Sequel Men and Women debut, Rachel Popp.
I love the inclusive introduction. Thanks. Sequel Women. Coming to a store near you.
SequelPeople.
Putting us in our place.
So Rachel, or as Christian likes to mock me for, so Rachel,
That's how you do that.
Before we get to that, we are tonight the Sequel People, and we talk about film franchises. You can listen wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us and stuff. So we're starting a film franchise that I'm mildly excited for. I'm excited to listen to Joel talk about it, and I'm excited for Rachel, an actual fan, to talk about it. We are diving in to High School Musical, and boy, oh boy, this is just a real treat. Rachel, just thanks for being with us. You do not know what you're getting into at all. I mean, maybe you do. Well, no, you don't listen to our show, so you really don't know. But
I've listened to a total of 1.5 episodes, and probably 3/4 of those episodes were spent asleep in the car. So it was subconsciously entering my brain.
Hey,
Great stuff.
Better than Genevieve.
It must have been when I was talking.
You're just so, hypnotic. Your voice is soothing.
That's
my
a nice
droning
way of saying you're
monotone is. So this part is where the atonement of the Father.
No, I wanna start with Rachel here, because you are an actual fan. I will say, every time the past however many years I've talked to you because your husband Brandon, who has been on the show before, he listens. He's an avid listener to us. He's been on it before, and whenever I'm hanging out with you, because sometimes you two will hang out with. They're the only other married couple that's in this group right here, so we can relate to them a little bit better. Sorry, guys. No, but we have hung out with them before, and every time I'm like, oh, you should listen. You always tell me, well, when you do High School Musical, I'll start listening. So 3 years later, we finally got you to listen.
The start of something new, you guys. This is great.
She said one of the song titles.
She said it.
I want to hear.
Sorry, I was
your
texting.
No,
Genevieve,
Spencer,
by the way,
that's what I've been looking for.
because
What?
she would be joining us too, but she just
She
maybe
doesn't
she'll
want
pop
to.
in. I don't
So,
know.
Rachel, what's your experience with High School Musical? How did you become a fan of this art?
It's a long and very, uphill, downhill journey. I've had to, put up with a lot of crap for just loving something that is so misunderstood. But it all started on the Saturday of the Disney Channel premiere of the first movie. On our fridge calendar, my mom wrote down High School Musical premiering
boy.
at 8/7 Central, and it was the start of something I never would have expected. Yeah.
Let me just. It was Disney Channel, so you got to do the.
Coming up next, High School Musical. I'm
Oh.
Zac Efron. This is the Disney Channel.
Chicken scratch with a magic wand. Yeah.
Coming up next,
I would practice
world
that in the
premiere
mirror
of High School
periodically.
Musical.
Yeah.
Me too. Do you think if you were to draw the for audio listeners, we did where they draw the Mickey Mouse with the magic wand.
Yeah.
Rachel, how was your form? Because I'm curious. We all think we're doing a great job, but how was your form?
See, I'm concerned I would be the type of actress who her hand motions would not at all match the magical green dust. Yeah, something I got to still work on.
A lot of CGI there. I'll just be like,
Well,
This is
that's
Shia
what I always
LaBeouf.
did.
It
From
probably
When
looked a little
Stevens.
phallic, if I'm being honest.
yeah, and you know what?
Funny
when
you
it comes to
mention that.
things being mismatched, nothing will be as bad as how bad the ADRs matched up with the actual movements in this movie. So, But,
Hey,
Is
you know-
it true? I didn't read the trivia.
A little
Is it
distracting.
true Zac
Little.
Efron, his singing audio was not his own voice in this one, and this is the only one, right?
That's correct. There are bits and pieces, if you listen carefully. A trained ear can hear portions of Start of Something New and Breaking Free have his original audio, but the other songs do not. It's all Drew Seeley, who was in other Disney movies, like Another Cinderella Story or A Cinderella Story. I forget which
when
one.
you-
The one with
It's
Selena Gomez.
When you
It was
said
also
that,
in,
kind
like,
of
a Hallmark
interesting.
movie about a teen dad who had to raise his kid in college. But yeah,
that
he
checks
was
out.
supposed
So
to
that-
be cast as Troy Bolton, and then they said he was too old. So that's
Drew
why they went
Seeley?
back.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That actually made me
it's-
think of something interesting from La La Land because there's only one scene where Emma Stone sang live on stage or on screen, and I think it was what was it? Have you guys all seen that movie?
no,
Oh
What?
yeah.
La La Land,
La La Land.
the true Oscar winner for Best Picture, yes.
Oh yeah. Well, there was one scene where Emma Stone, they used the version she sang in studio other than actually singing it live. And it wasn't the one you think. The one that she sang alone it's called the audition. The audition
Mhm.
scene where she sings about her grandma in Paris. That was
Mhm.
in studio. Whereas she sang live when they're dancing on the hilltop. I can't remember what that song is.
The Here's to the Ones Who Dream song.
Yeah. Yeah. That was in studio. I thought she was fantastic. But anyway, it just reminded me of that because they didn't use his same voice, but kind of similar, but different.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, James.
I was sold. I thought it was Zac Efron the whole time.
I knew
That's what
right
they
away.
want you to think.
No, all right.
He does a weird thing with his mouth.
Yeah, I was just gonna say when he's singing, he really.
Yeah.
But these guys, they're all young actors. I'm gonna try to be nice to them, but it's real hard because they're still learning how to act, and they're still learning how to lip sync and do all that. It is a high school musical. It's almost like a stage play because there's a lot of.
It's very meta.
So the
acting reflects that, yeah. But I was
mean,
going to
you could argue the adults in the movie are even worse. I mean, look at the principal.
Darbo.
He's awful. Look at Gabriella's mom. Line delivery is horrible.
Oh.
The math teacher.
You're right.
Oh.
What about
You're
Troy's
1,000%
dad?
Correct.
Where's Troy?
Oh.
Where's Troy? Where's Troy?
What the heck are those two doing in a tree? Yeah.
Yeah.
The musical.
Excuse me, miss.
The musical.
Miss, this is practice.
Close
Come
practice.
on, Dad. Practice is over.
Until the
Sorry.
last player leaves the court.
Yeah.
Dad, she's not just a girl. Her name is Gabriella. Or whatever he says.
Talking about the acting, I actually was having not seen this movie and literally probably since it came out, I was impressed by Zac Efron's acting.
Of course you were.
Thank you.
I actually thought
One
it was
of the better
quite good.
Disney Channel actors.
Right. It was
now look at him.
Vanessa
He's really
Hudgens. Vanessa Hudgens. I'm not saying this to be a jerk. She just simply cannot act in this movie in this point in her career. She can act
because
like
she's
I've
a
seen
woman,
her.
Christian.
No,
Whoa.
absolutely not. Absolutely
I wasn't
not.
gonna
Just
say
some of
it.
her lines are just bad, and her face, like not her face in general. I'm not saying that. The
Her
facial
facial
expression she
structure
makes,
is offensive.
like when she's climbing up the stairs into Troy's secret spot, she's all like,
Well, if I'm being honest,
looking
she's
around
the
and
ugliest 14-year-old I've ever seen.
I think
There,
I had
I
a
said
crush.
it. Is that
I
what
had a
you're going
crush
for?
on her at the time.
No,
I had
I
a
was
crush
being
on her
Christian.
at the time. But she
Yeah, she's aight.
she has the voice, and she's very attractive. It's just wasn't like a big name actress at the time, like Spencer said.
Christian.
She really
She's
grew
14.
into the role. And there's a movie that my roommate, when I lived in my apartment, he watched a movie with Nicolas Cage, and she's in it, and she plays like a prostitute.
Oh,
And her performance, I didn't really watch the movie, but I can only assume that as she got older and got more acting chops, that her acting got better. So I think I really believe that. Yeah.
Because I gave you some flack for disliking her because she's a woman, but that's mostly because that's what people would tell me. I'd say I hated the way she acted, and they thought it was just because I felt threatened because she.
Oh no.
The main
It's just
female
objectively
protagonist.
bad.
She's really bad, but I have seen her in. Is it Tick Tick Boom? That's out on Netflix.
With Andrew Garfield.
She does a phenomenal job in that. Really
Which
impressive
one?
because I was ready to be really hard on her, but she did a great job.
Speaking of hard on,
what?
Sharpay, I think really overdoes it. And Ryan, obviously my favorite characters, but I didn't realize just how little dialogue they actually have. I thought I remember them being featured in this event more.
Okay.
Than what they
Who?
were.
Ashley Tisdale and the other guy?
And now that we are on the subject of Sharpay and Ryan,
that's Joel.
Zooming in on Ryan, that is the personification of like how literally my entire high school saw me. Because I was the theater guy. I won best actor for my graduating class, whatever. Like that means anything. Allendale
It
class
does.
of 2011. But I couldn't help but think, and like I said, I even owned a couple fedoras, whatever, but I couldn't help but think that as much as I didn't want to admit it, I was like, you know what? That's probably exactly how people saw me. Like, and
I
that
still
just
see you
goes
that
along
way.
with well, it's because you're a nemesis, but it just goes along with like the whole like depiction of, and I guess it was satire. Genevieve actually pointed this out to me when we were watching. We watched it together. And she, I'm just kind of wrapped up in the idea that this entire movie is like, God, this is just as, I enjoyed aspects, but for the most part, I was just kind of like, all right, let's wrap it up. But she's saying to me, no, I think, you got to remember, like, I don't think that they're like glorifying the, depiction of cliques and the stereotypes and stuff like that. It really is satire. This whole thing is very satirical of like the high school experience.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, that's how that's, if you watch it with that frame of mind, it's kind of more palatable.
Especially like the audition scene where all those different you get like the kind of new agey goth interpretive dance. You get
go see the counselor.
Yeah.
It was
kind of problematic.
Yeah,
that was truly disturbing.
Yeah, that one was doesn't really sit so well nowadays. But and it's amazing. Even looking at a movie like High School Musical, 2006, 7, whatever.
6.
I was in middle school.
I looked it up. January 20th, 2006 is when it came out.
And now, even like already, like that's some of the stuff in here is like, okay, you shouldn't be like, be a little bit more delicate with how we're handling that situation.
Like what? Oh, well, you mean
primarily
like
the
mental
health
when they're appropriating Spanish?
Or that. Oh, definitely that. Yeah, definitely that. But, the mental health thing, like, oh, go see a counselor. Like, that's, but some people actually
big yikes.
need.
One thing I do think aged well, Martha Cox, I love to dance. Hip-hop's my passion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
When you think about it, they don't give her the stereotypical kind of large body, interests. Like she's pretty cool and dances and is hip, which I feel like for that time, major. And I'm proud of it.
Not another word.
I actually like that song, but I don't like the message because, listen, it's almost, and I hesitate to use the word homophobic, but when the basketball player says he likes to bake and they're like, oh, fuck! Dude, baking, anybody can bake, dude. Like, baking is awesome. Last year, I baked like 10 different kinds of cookies that I found recipes for on YouTube, and they were all delicious. Like, baking, first of all, it's offensive to think what they're
bakers.
No. Yes, but what, you have to be a woman to bake? Only women bake, or only not athletes can bake? What? I don't... Like, I'm offended. I'm not offended, but look, anybody can bake. Rachel, you guys baked me a cake last year. Together.
It was a pretty mediocre cake, though. Zeke could do better. I'm just saying.
The pie cake?
Oh, is that his name? I mean, maybe he could, but that's because it's his passion.
Homework, yes. Zeke.
Oh,
Zeke. He loves to bake.
Amateurs.
Zeke is the baker.
Which, again, kind
Skater
of a
dude is the
stereotypical
cellist.
name.
A saw?
Because
no, dude, it's like a giant violin.
Yeah.
Roger. No, but Zeke, do you know
that's Spencer
Joel,
right there? Is the guy who
Joel,
goes,
you're probably gonna log off. You're gonna
good.
log off probably.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
The name Zeke was the nickname, and I'm sure this is where they got it. Was the nickname of Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas. His nickname for some reason was Zeke. He played for the Detroit Pistons back when they were really good, like 89, 90. The Bad Boys. He was there. He was on that team. Christian, you know. Rachel, you know. Joel
I don't
found out Joel found out what basketball was from this movie, which not a great teacher, if I might say so. Because let me just explain something to you, a little mini sports corner. In practice, now in my experience, I played 4 years of it in high school, 2 years in middle school. and 4 years in college, intramural, and 2 years City League after college. I've never had a practice where we just broke out in a dance and then called it good. I mean, maybe during conditioning, but they just dribbled a couple times. One thing I want to give credit for, Zac Efron's shooting form, he actually looks like he knows what he's doing. And I think he actually
did a lot
does.
of research. He did.
Yeah.
No, he didn't before filming. He had to really study up. That's, again, one of the things that makes Zac a really good actor is a lot of directors will say he like fully immerses himself in whatever skills he's supposed to know. So, yeah,
I hope he didn't do that.
So what did he have to do for Neighbors?
When he played Ted Bundy? How do you prepare for that?
I heard he slaughtered many people to get really in the mindset of a serial killer. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, Hollywood,
I was like, there's no murder in this movie? We jumped.
There's the murdering of cliques, Joel. The murdering of cliques happens.
Yeah, well, you're right. They did slaughter that. The movie that what's the name of the movie that Ted Bundy one he did? What?
Yeah.
That is a good movie.
Extremely loud,
extremely
and incredibly.
Wicked, and...
Yeah.
No, not extreme.
Extremely loud and then incredibly loud. Yeah.
With Tom Hanks.
Okay.
I can hear everything too. Okay. Well, I know originally you and I, Joel, Christian, and I originally said we were going to like do a little, talk about it fully. So then we didn't keep Rachel the whole time. But do you want, Rachel, do you want us to go through the acts like we usually do? And then if you got to bounce, you just let us know whenever.
Yeah, that's fine. I am here to do whatever you guys, whatever's most helpful. I can be available as late as you need me.
Because I think that'll kind of help me get into the groove, guys. I know we originally said, but I can't just talk about it overall. I have to break it down.
Right, exactly. I was a bit lost here, admittedly. I didn't know what the plan of attack was.
We were just overalling.
Overalling.
I originally had a thing. Remember, Rachel, I said, well, I'll have you do I forgot to write it in a way that you would say it. So I'll just read the acts and you tell me how accurate I describe them. You can be the critic here. And then, because obviously you've only listened to an episode and a half. We go act one.
Subconsciously.
I do a summary. And then we talk about act one. Then we move on act two and so on. And this actually is kind of funny that, acts, because this is like a play. So without further ado, if I may, Christian, what do I always say? Act one.
He doesn't care. Yep.
It's New Year's Eve and the ski lodge is rocking. Gabriela Montez reads a book because that's what you do on vacation, and studies because nerd alert and teen heartthrob Trey Bolton shoots.
Get through it.
He shoots hoops in a cafeteria. He shoots hoops in a cafeteria, I think, with his dad, the coach. His mom. Sorry, it's a cafeteria. His mom. Like they brought this from home. We got to bring the hoop. His mom makes him join the party where he and Gabriella get chosen against their will, by the way, to sing karaoke where they both have angel voices and fall in love. Back at school, Gabriella happens to be the new girl. It's kind of like Grease. Joel, you understand. Happens to be the new girl in East High, where Troy also attends. What? They have literally a 2-minute theater class with discount Meryl Streep, where they all get detention because phones. It's basketball practice time, but don't worry, Joel. They don't do any real basketball things. They just sing. Sharpay, the school bitch, gives Troy and Gabriella a hard time for looking at the musical sign-up sheet. John Hancock's it. Troy is thinking he might want to audition because he wants to get with Gabriella and hold her hand. It's audition day, and Troy bobs and weaves his way to the theater. Sharpay and brother Ryan, who are a little too close for comfort, nail the audition with their own version of What I've Been Looking For. But wait a minute. Troy and Gabriella watch, and then Gabriella wants to audition, but it's too late. After Discount Merrill leaves, Troy and Gabriella sing the duet and are overheard and rewarded a callback. It's on. Somebody I forgot to mention, the MVP of this movie, what's her name? Kelsey, the composer. They end up talking to her, and then she's like, do you want to hear how it's actually supposed to be? That's how they sing. I left that out. So there's Act 1, and I gotta say, my least favorite thing about any high school movie is welcome back from vacation, guys. Welcome to class. No cell phones. And that's all the time we have. That's the bell. We'll see you tomorrow.
I do have to call you out, though, Spencer. It's not a theater class. It's homeroom. They are all in homeroom, which is a very short, usually 10-minute class. So they got that right.
As I was.
Miss Darbus is their homeroom teacher.
I think we all get
Thank you very much.
Confused because of the overpowering aura of Darbus the Decimator. Just kidding. I was taken aback about how extreme and Wish.com Meryl Streep she is. But
oh my goodness!
As Spencer, you kind of alluded to in your intro, but yeah, pretty intense for because she is the drama class teacher.
She is. So she infuses drama into homeroom, as any good teacher would.
I will say,
cell phones.
Listen, obviously everybody's over the top in this movie. Especially
I never had that happen in school.
But I will say that, and I mean this respectfully.
And Spencer, if I'm interrupting you, it's because I cannot hear or see you.
Okie dokie. Okay. We'll work on that. Respectfully, drama teachers, any sort of like arts teacher, and I can't stress this enough, I don't mean any disrespect for that. They personify what they teach. I'm speaking from experience. I had a music teacher who, whenever I saw her, she would talk very like this because she had to save her voice. She told us that. I'm not making fun of her. She told us that she spoke like that to save her voice for singing. Any art teacher I've ever had, they dress the part, they act, they move as the way art moves. So I think she's actually pretty realistic. If I'm given credit.
Yeah.
If I'm given credit.
Honestly, yeah, that is fair. Because and I won't name her because I don't think I remember her name. But even at the college level, the one, I was the theater kid in high school, but surprisingly enough, I only took one theater class, and I think it was in my very last or second to last semester at Grand Valley. And the one theater professor I had, holy hell.
Was she Italian?
What? Who was it?
No, it was no. She was not Italian. No.
Okay.
I won't get into her identity because you never know, and you just want to respect anonymity. But I guess circling around to your point, like I see it now. The Wish.com Meryl Streep-esque thing. So
just the look. I'm talking just the look. She looks tremendously like that.
Oh, okay.
I'm gone. Can you hear me, though? He can't hear me. Christian, can you hear me? Rachel, did you ever do theater productions?
I can. Oh, I thought you were asking me if I can hear you. I can hear you.
No.
Yes, actually, I did theater freshman through senior year. I was mostly on the acting side of things, not so much the singing side of things, but... my theater director, oddly enough, was also the accounting teacher at our school. So very head-oriented, not so much art oriented, which was a little surprising. Because theater isn't really like math.
No, not at all. Well, you have to calculate the scenes. So
that's true.
In a way, theater is math. Everything has to come together.
That definitely wasn't my approach. When I was in theater, there was no calculating.
Okay, well then
I just
your
did it.
Theater, they changed you.
And I guess I'll just dive into like the relevance of Grease with this, because I did see the parallel there, the Danny Sandy parallel, and then I don't know if it's in the first act or whatever, but you know, he's got to put on like whoa, never mind. That's way later in the movie, but you know, there is a Danny Sandy dynamic, you know. So I saw
a dandy, if you will.
A dandy, yeah. Right away.
A note.
Oh wait.
I have a what?
I just want. I want to make sure people know why we're referencing Grease so much. Spencer likes to bring it up because I was Danny Zuko in Grease, so that's why if you hear us on this episode, everybody obsessively reference it. That's because it's just a fun game for Spencer. So
I was Danny Zuko in Breaking Bad the musical.
That's not it.
I had no idea, Joel, that you were such a theater person. That's awesome.
Used to be. Yeah.
Cool.
Since we're coming out with the theater closet, let me just say, in 6th grade, I made my debut on stage in middle school.
Oh, yeah.
I was cowboy number 1 in the junior production of How the West Was Really Won. And that's because my audition, I was nervous, first time I ever auditioned. I did not nail it. But then, coming into 7th grade, a lot more confident, I nailed my audition, and I was one of the leads in the junior production of, oh man, it's so embarrassing, of Music Man. And I played Marcellus Washburn. So I had to sing Shapoopy, which, fun story, if I may, tell just a brief story on that. During the auditions, we came in, and the director, who, R.I.P. to her, one of the best ladies that I ever knew, a very close friend of mine's mother. She was just basically the face of Ionia's theater program. She passed away recently, which is terrible, and it's sad. But I credit her a lot with me even becoming interested in acting, because as the cowboy number 1 in How the West, I was really discouraged. I got home, I'm like, I didn't get a part. But she took me aside one day and she was like, hey, the other cowboys are younger than you, because it wasn't just middle school, it was like elementary through middle school, so it was all sorts of levels. And she's like, I need you to be the leader of these cowboy groups. Ham it up, like, because if you do that, if you really put on the show and act and just be the cowboy and the leader, they will follow too, because they'll think it's fun. They look up to you. So that changed my entire perspective. It was one of the best things I'd ever gotten from a teacher, from a person, from a mother. It was amazing. So then the next year, I carried that confidence over, got Marcellus Washburn. But when we were walking in, they're playing the music from the show, and I'm not familiar with Music Man. So this song comes on, Shapoopy. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awful. I hope I don't get that part. And then when the cast list was listed, I didn't know that character sang that. So I'm like, wonder what my song is. And my best friend was like, dude, do you not know music? Like, have you never? And I'm like, no. And he's like, you'd sing Shapoopy. And I'm like, fudge crackers. But I did it. Shapoopy. And I did it with a smile. And then 8th grade, and then I'll be done with my theater experience.
Oh, good.
8th grade was just the last time I ever did theater, because sports and stuff, it didn't really work out for my schedule in high school, which I kind of regret. I should have made it work. But
Troy made time for both, just saying.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know. I should have. Oh, you can hear me. That's great. But Captain in 8th grade, And I didn't play.
That was
I
you.
bench. I snagged the role. Yeah, when I was on varsity, I started my last game.
I was a bench warmer in Pee Wee, so
Yeah, cool.
Well, that's more embarrassing. Anyway, continue, Spencer.
I know.
So I nailed I knew I was going to get one of the leads because I knew what I was doing now. We were in 8th grade. We were the seniors of the junior theater because it only went up to 8th grade, and then it's high school. So nailed the audition, obvi, and I landed the role of Nicely Johnson in the junior production of Guys and Dolls.
Oh,
and that was the most fun I ever had in middle school. Like, I did a stunt. I had to climb a scaffolding. It was cool. But it was also really cool because my best friend, who you guys have met, Justin Tall, he's gone to a couple movies with us, my best man at my wedding. In Music Man, he was the lead. Like, he was the Music Man, and I was kind of like his sidekick. In this one, he was the lead. Who was he? He was the guy who sang Luck Be a Lady.
Isn't that Guy something? Or
maybe.
No. I thought his name was Guy.
No, what is it?
Oh,
it's who?
Wait, maybe not. Wait.
I'll just tell you.
Was like, no.
But anyway, I was his. It's cool because we were best friends outside of it. And in each of those last productions, I was like, we were a duo, kind of like I was his sidekick. So that was cool. I had 4 songs and I was terrified. I hated singing in front of people. I still do. It's very nerve-wracking. Sky Masterson.
Oh, Sky. See, it rhymes.
No. Yep, it is. He was Sky Masterson.
So now that Spencer has gone through his whole litany of every single production he's ever been in and every part.
So then in college I did short films. And
the message is it brought you out of your shell, and it kind of made you feel like you didn't have to be afraid of just like putting yourself out. That's what theater was for me. Like, yes, I obviously did a lot. I'm not going to go through and list everything that I did.
Oh, boy.
Okay, Spencer. But
Danny Zito.
Brought you out of your shell. Yeah, Danny Zito, whatever. Sandy. But bottom line is it brings you out of your shell. It makes you not afraid to really just show the world everything you've got. And I do have a kind of a clip of an interview, courtesy of BBC Radio 1. I'm going to start mentioning the places I steal clips from because that's I probably should. But anyway, if you want to listen to this, it's essentially Zac Efron saying the same thing. If you want to check this out. So I'm going to see. Hopefully this works.
Man, the first time you fall into a rhythm with something where you really can just be yourself and you're immersed with people you love, the cast is incredible. Like this, in this picture, that was after one of the most fun. We had like maybe a week of rehearsal or less to choreograph 5 different group dances and several solo dances. But we literally finished this dance without any mistakes on a like the 3rd take. And that was all our budget. We had no money left. I think those movies were like, I don't know, a couple $1,000. And we were so happy. We're just friends doing what we love.
A couple $1,000.
Friends doing what they love.
I'll say this.
Couple $1,000.
My wife and I each have a celebrity crush that we'd allow the other to cheat on with. And I have 2.
Okay.
The first one is Amy Adams. The second one is Zac Efron. So.
Yes. That's cool.
Okay, so Act 1 though of this, is it normal? Like, just at a lodge. Wait, is this like a school? Is this a school?
I was a bit confused
Rachel?
at the setting too, but yeah.
It actually is a real school building. Yes.
No. Is it a school trip?
You know,
no, it's a
they've
vacation.
never confirmed or denied that, but I would assume based on how many school-age children are there, it is. But yeah, I don't know why there's a cafeteria at the ski lodge.
All right. I also, can I run a theory by you?
That is
guys
a little
real quick?
bizarre.
Can I run a theory by you?
Yeah,
Sure.
Go ahead.
During the basketball practice scene, or any basketball scene, when they break out into a song, do you think that that is just inside of Troy Bolton's head because he can't get his mind off the musical and singing. So that's how he's picturing practice, and that's not actually in the world of the musical. That's not actually happening. Actual practice is taking place, but he is playing it like that. I need some thoughts.
Exactly. Yes. I think it's an allegory for his feelings. He's going through a lot. He's battling with staying focused on practice, getting his head in the game, quite literally.
Oh.
And then I love that part where, he kind of speaks. Should I go for it? Better. Whatever. Yikes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's his feelings.
Well, I just recently talked to somebody about musicals, and I think it's probably general knowledge that I didn't know it at the time, but just that when they break, obviously we don't all break out in song and dance when we're trying to express our feelings when we're out in public and things like that. So it's just like an exaggerated expression, and he's trying to get his cat off the table, I bet.
Is that the worst time? Always when you're speaking. No.
But yeah, that's basically it. I think that's probably the right idea behind it in any musical, really.
That just changed my whole perspective on musicals. Because
it's just it's supposed to express what you're feeling rather than saying it, I guess, in song and dance, and which makes it even more emotional because that resonates with people.
Unless it's a song within a musical that's about a musical, because I would argue Bop to the Top.
Oh, it's awful.
Started Something New. Those are all actually sung.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
It's important.
That's like it's the difference between diegetic and non-diegetic sound, which putting my film degree to work, I learned that one.
Whoa.
Doggy.
Carry on, I gotta let her in.
All right.
Carry on.
My wayward son.
We're carrying on. We're carrying on. I just thought of something to say. That's a good point, because even in the songs within the movie that aren't part of being the musical, which is a musical we don't even know what the musical is in the movie about a musical.
It's Twinkletown.
What is Twinkletown?
It's not a real musical, thing? But it is in High School Musical world.
Okay. I didn't think of that. I know they mentioned it in the movie, but
because Coach Bolton laughed.
Right, I was just going to mention that.
What's that?
And that kind of segues into the one thing I did want to touch on. I thought it was again, it's hard to kind of differentiate, in the moment, this is actually satire, but the way that they handled the conflict, the tension there, the classic arts versus sports,
right?
And Darbus and Bolton, it's okay, but I
kind of liked that.
But that's exactly kind of what you saw in high school with, at least I did.
Yes.
It's the same where I'm from in Fruitport.
Neither kind of held either thing to any degree of importance. It was all kind of I was a little more on Bolton's side in this movie. I know, theater nerd is taking the side of whatever the coach, but it was very distracting, the fact that auditions were okay, it's fucking auditions. Why is this elevated to the same level as preparing for a championship game? I don't know. It just, the scale seemed a little.
It was a callback. It was
imbalanced.
Make or break.
I know, but
I would argue auditions are more have to be kind of more concrete in time. You can't just have auditions whenever.
Well,
whereas you can have practice whenever.
Well, yeah, I understand.
So if anything, I'm on Darbus's side.
Time sensitive, yeah, and timeline wise, but it felt like it was ramping up to opening night or something. You know what I mean?
Because it is. It's all leading up to opening night.
Maybe, but I just
with the audition.
I don't know. It was just a little
I don't know, Joel. Preparing for opening night and performing in potentially 100+ people in a high school auditorium, that's kind of a big deal.
Which, by the way, not that
versus playing it.
There's no way that that many that much of the student body shows up for.
Oh well, I'm sorry, I don't have the blueprint to the auditorium.
At Allendale,
no,
we were lucky to
Joel,
get 12 people at
Joel.
auditions. But
No, let me. I thought that too. Let me run this by you real quick.
And Joel dressed up as
They
a different
weren't-
person each
they
time,
weren't-
and he.
I could tell you about one of my auditions.
They weren't attending the audition because remember there was a malfunction. They were just told to get out of there. That was the next largest room for that many people
And then
to
their
be
friend-
in. And they didn't want
Their
to wander
friends
around
told
the
them,
school.
"Hey, let's go to the auditorium."
Right.
They did it
Right.
on purpose.
So it was organized, yeah, to show support, like for their friends, but also some of those
After
people
being a bunch
probably
of dicks
didn't.
the whole time.
Yeah, that's just the next room, and then they got in there like, what the hell? Oh no, I got to watch these kids. Which I'll give the film. Nope, that's Act 3. We're going to talk about that in Act 3.
Yeah, I kind of jumped a
But
little
then
bit.
Troy-
Oh, well.
Yeah, Act 1 really starts on an odd foot. Troy, you got this
kind of a
party,
lot.
and she's
Yeah.
studying, and then they're shooting hoops. They really hammer home that ball is life, like almost to a cringy level.
Yeah,
like,
Right.
dude,
Yeah.
you're on vacation, and when I'm on vacation, if there's a basketball hoop, sure, I'll go and shoot. But if I'm not gonna, like, if the coach isn't, I don't know.
It's in the family,
actually,
though. I mean, the Bolton family, it sounds like, has had generations upon generations of basketball stars.
Well, yeah, but it's not like they're Michael Jordan.
Yeah, well,
Hey.
looking
Yes.
at the size of their fucking
Yes.
house
Or
in this
the-
movie,
Yeah,
you'd,
yeah.
you'd think they were about
Or
as
the
rich as
So,
they
birds.
were.
where is that money coming
I
from?
know. It's like they're the 1%.
he's a
Well,
high
it's
school
coming from his
basketball coach.
championship win in
I mean,
'82.
hopefully he
remember?
has another like day job and he just coaches in the evening. But like,
Hey, maybe
I don't know.
he's probably a
maybe
teacher.
their mom,
Which
maybe his
they don't
mom
get paid
is
enough.
well, if he's a gym teacher or whatever, he's certainly not making
Whoa,
enough money
are you saying
to
just because he's a
afford
coach, he
that
has to
house.
teach gym?
Yeah, I don't think he's
And
the
I'm not-
gym teacher. I don't think so.
I'm not saying that to be derogatory either.
No, I know.
I'm just saying to have a house that
Yeah, it's a little bit.
luxuriant.
But then,
I think maybe his mom is like a lawyer or a paralegal or something.
but
I
also
was just gonna say
Gabriella's
his
house
mom
is
is-
pretty exquisite too. So it's like, what?
And
No,
they
it's
just
not.
moved.
It was nice.
Gabriella's.
It was nice.
I think her house is more ordinary and more,
My
middle
point
class
is,
than Troy's.
what a damaging thing for a kid, or maybe that's why we're so messed up and have a negative view on the world, because we had to watch movies like High School Musical where everybody has a nice house, and that was the
Well, actually, you make a good point.
That was the
'cause that's a lot of
expectation.
what I see these days. A lot of people who are even so-called middle class
Right.
have really nice houses and really nice furniture and It's almost like we're living back in the 80s or maybe I forget if it's the 80s or early 90s, where you had shows that were really popular, like How the Rich Live, focus on how the rich live, like lifestyles of the rich and the famous, like Dynasty and things like that. And you kind of lost that, I think, in the 90s. You had like shows like Roseanne and Boy Meets World and Everybody Loves Raymond, where they all lived in these ordinary households and they lived normal, ordinary
That
family
70s
lives.
show.
And now we're back into that 70s show, and now we're back in an age where everybody seems to live in a high-end apartment in New York or blah, blah, blah.
Can we talk about Corey in the house? I mean,
No,
living in the
I've
White
never
House.
watched it. Oh, but speaking of, I think it's the High School Musical is basically the last late great Disney Channel original movie. After that, I stopped watching them. They kind of went, well, I don't know if I could say they were all bad because I stopped watching them, but that was the last best one that I ever watched, and that was
You
during
watched
an
Camp
era.
Rock? That came shortly after that.
No, but I know Kenny Ortega did that too, didn't he?
He did. It wasn't as good, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like it was accepted by the public about the same level. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. This was at a time when all the good shows were on, and I mean, we were younger, but even going back and watching some of these shows today, they still make me laugh. Like, That's So Raven.
Loved it.
Legit funny show. Legit
Right.
funny show, even for adults. Kim Possible was cool. Zach and Cody, I liked that. And then now
Phil of
you
the
go
Future?
back and watch
Phil.
Phil of the
Oh,
Future.
Phil of the
That was
Future
shortly after.
great.
Never watched that though.
I liked that one.
Lizzie McGuire. I watched Lizzie McGuire. But this, and then I feel like
Wizards of
High School
Waverly
Musical was a tipping
Place
point.
was my last Disney Channel show that I liked.
Okay.
Then it went down.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just,
As
yeah.
they do.
Maybe it's because we got older, or legitimately the quality of the acting in the shows. I totally agree.
I don't think
I want to see. Go.
Me go. Okay.
Yeah.
I
your
want
turn. Your turn.
I want to say that I was not really terribly invested at all in the Disney Channel at this point. I mean, I was in 7th grade. I mean, not to judge anybody, like there's people all around me that were still
7th grade. I mean,
case in point, this is a story I'm getting to. I can remember vividly now. I mean, this just came into my head like today as I was thinking about this movie. 7th grade, I want to say I was in 7th grade when this movie came out. Everybody was about it. I was like, why? This isn't real theater or whatever. I don't know what my attitude was. But anyway, I can remember we were running lines. It was after school and we're running lines for, I think we were doing our own version of SNL. And we did a thing called AMS Live, Ellendale Middle School Live. And so we were running lines for that. But then all of a sudden, my two actor friends wanted to have a little High School Musical time. I'm like, the fuck? So I just sat there and I watched them, and they're literally like doing the choreography and shit like this and singing the songs, and I just like felt left out and I felt weird about it. I'm like, guys, can we just run lines? Like, I just was so over it, and I guess I was just trying to be edgy or something, but I just have that memory of just like everybody around me was High School Musical, and it's like, I don't know what the hell that is,
Well, Oh, go ahead, Spencer.
Just a quick sidebar. Do you remember in our conversation earlier when, and I'm quoting here.
Here we go.
Are we going to do all 3 of these damn movies? Joel. Joel. This is me, Joel.
Fucking, yeah, that's a musical number. I was Danny Tuco in Breaking Bad the musical, so I think I know what a musical is.
Pretentious laughter commences and we get a 3-hour history of musicals. So I kind of called his little rant there.
So is that
and why this one doesn't count because there's too much dialogue. So there you go. Called
But
it.
you still didn't answer my
get it.
question. You still didn't answer my question, ass. And then Spencer said, I don't see how that's a question. There's 3 movies.
Let's not do a repeat of the 100th where we're sitting here reading chats. All right.
Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit because I had stupid issues again when I couldn't see or hear Spencer.
That's okay.
You're all talking about your theater experience. My theater experience mostly comes from my sisters. So I have 4 sisters. One of them is way, way older.
Christian was the jock.
I was the only boy, and my 2 older sisters and my twin sister, they were all involved in theater and choir. And they were in Grease. They were in Cinderella. My sister Kendra played Lucy in The Peanuts, Charlie Brown.
Sick.
We did the Charlie Brown one too. Yep.
Cool. I remember seeing that. But yeah, naturally we were big fans of High School Musical when it came out. And I remember it because we had the CD, we watched it on Disney Channel, and for me, this was I kind of remember this movie as being one of those comfort food movies, Spencer. It came out like a few months after my mom's accident, and we kind of just me and my sisters would watch it because they had an infatuation with musical stuff, and I guess some of the music, it was just like a happy movie. Like it ended on a good note, literally, with that song. And I loved the music in the movie at the time. I had this CD installed on my Xbox.
Whoa, dude!
My OG Xbox. I installed the CD, and I guarantee you that those songs are still on that Xbox hard drive if I plugged it in and powered it up.
Wow!
But
I hope so.
And I was listening to the music in the car on the way to your apartment, Rachel, to see Brandon, to get those microphones from him. I was listening to it on my phone. I was like, oh my goodness, some of these songs are actually really good.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Did you ever watch the sing-along version or the dance-along version, Christian?
No, I did not.
Disney Channel did that maybe, I don't know, like 6 months after it premiered. And you could like watch the show, and then they would have the lyrics pop up like a karaoke, kind of thing.
Oh, I remember that happening.
And then with the dance along, they would have a little segment beforehand where they would like teach you the choreography to like the big dance numbers, and then when you watched it, you could dance with them.
We may have watched that. I don't remember it. I remember just watching it in our old house on Cloverville. It just also kind of this movie just brings me back to living at our old house when we were kids. And I remember it was during the winter, so it was light, fluffy snow outside and just hanging out inside, watching High School Musical, singing, and like listen to it was just great. Given the circumstances of the time, it was a happier movie, I guess. But I have fond memories of this movie. And watching it again was kind of great because I hadn't watched it in literally. How long has it been?
15.
18?
In January,
15
it'll be 15.
years?
Yeah.
This
Holy
was my
moly.
first time watching it in its entirety. I guess I've caught bits and moments of it, but this was my first time watching it.
Wow.
Congratulations.
You all held a gun to my
Let me
head.
My
give
nieces
you
and nephews, who are all younger than I am, they were kids, like little kids during this, and they all watched, and I was like an older brother to them, so I would make fun of them, like, and I didn't watch it in its entirety until I did it by choice, because I was just curious after all these years, last year. So I'm not joking.
I know, that's the
watched
funny
And you were
part.
surprisingly
I watched
pleased,
them
weren't you?
during nap times or at night, or when the kids were awake, because it's kid appropriate. So I'm sitting there and I watched all 3 of these within like 2 weeks, and I'm like, all right, I was right. This is awful.
No, it's
No,
okay.
they're actually not awful. If I'm being honest,
The worst part
watched
of the
them.
movie is
They're fun.
probably Gabriella's acting.
I
That's
agree.
probably the
And her
biggest
singing.
criticism.
Her singing isn't good
You
either.
don't like
she
it?
sings out of her nose. It's so nasal.
You're right.
It's not terrible. But I can see where you're coming from.
We're on this together.
Hey, at least she actually sang her songs.
I have a note.
And
True.
freaking Troy did.
On the nasal
He
issue.
can sing though. He just was asked not to sing. That's the thing that
My head's in the
annoyed
game,
me.
but my voice isn't here.
I just feel like we have to distinguish. Kenny Ortega told Zac Efron he couldn't sing the part, but Zac Efron can sing because he sings in the second and third movie. So it's not that he can't sing; it's that he was
Now I'm
told
looking forward to
not
that.
to sing.
Gotcha.
Right. Yes.
But
And we all know from the other 2 movies and pretty much every movie that he's in now, he'll have a musical number. Okay, not every movie, but I mean, he was in Greatest
Ted
Showman.
Bundy, he was singing as he slaughtered some people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
That's not my
he
kind of
He can
film.
sing. He's a great singer, and he's grown into a great actor. Get him in the MCU. But I want to
He
see
will
a
be
musical,
eventually.
like a true.
he's
satire
grown into
of
his eyebrows, so that's good.
And dude,
I'd like
he
to
is
see a High School
jacked
Musical
out of his
reunion.
mind. I'd
And
watch it.
people
He's
were
real
upset
thin.
online because they thought his jaw looked really big and like they thought he had gotten like facial implants and stuff. I just read an article today saying that he actually broke his jaw because he was running around in his socks
in the
at his
house.
house and stumbled on a granite fountain because we all have those in our house. And although if it were the Bolton's house, the Boltons probably have one.
Cannon.
And so he
He's
broke his
risky
jaw.
business.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually
I
terrifying.
I feel
to,
like I
just
read that.
break your
somewhere.
jaw.
I thought his head looked
Tom
swollen.
Cruise didn't break his jaw sliding around in his underwear and socks.
I want to see a musical where it truly is a satire in a way, like somebody will break out in song, like at a practice, and then the team will just be like, "The fuck, hey, get back on D. What are you? Hello." Like I want to see that. Like somebody breaks
Okay.
out, like, "What are you doing?" And he's
Interesting.
like, "Aren't we in a thing where?" No, cool. Okay, nobody knows this one. I'll take this one.
I'm
And they're
sure.
like, no,
I'm
please
pretty
don't.
sure
Please do not sing.
that's been done. That's been done
Probably
at
in one of
some
the
point,
scary
but not on
movies.
the scale that you're talking about, like an entire musical.
Or, oh my gosh, guys, let me run this by you. It's a musical, but there's one person who doesn't get it, that during every song, they're just like, they try to sing the lyrics, but they just don't know. So, and they don't know. They're just like,
Again,
I have no idea what is with this
you mean
school.
like somebody out of their element, like Stranger in a Strange Land sort of thing, where they're in a musical, but they don't know it.
Wasn't that a show?
So everybody sings. It was actually
Recently. Who's
just
in it?
recently.
A big name was
I
in
don't
it.
know. It's the guy from Pitch Perfect.
You know,
in it.
Spencer, while you were describing that, again, the only image that popped into my head was good old Naven Johnson from The Jerk, trying to find the beat.
I remember the first time I saw you do that, Joel. It cracked me up. It was at your guys' wedding, Rachel. You and Brandon's wedding.
I did the Naven Johnson when I was trying to find the beat.
Yeah, we were dancing at the reception, and you were doing that and stomping your foot.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of things at that reception.
Yes, you were.
And you can hear us regale about that on our 100th episode.
Oh, nice.
That was a great night.
Nice plug. It's actually called. Yep, there was a show.
Yep.
Apparently, it's still a thing. I don't know. And I don't know what it's on. It's on a streaming. Oh, Apple TV
What's
Plus.
it called?
It's called.
Poopy. Shapoopy.
Schmigadoon. It stars
Schmigadoon?
Keegan-Michael Key, Fred Armisen.
That's not what I'm thinking of.
Fred Armisen, Dove Cameron, Kristen Chenoweth, Alan Cumming, who
Spy
you
Kids.
should know.
Floop.
Yep, Jane Krakowski. She's from 30 Rock. Martin Short.
We know who these people are.
I mean, just a bunch of these. But anyway,
Jack
the
Frost.
show's premise is a couple on a backpacking trip discovers a magical town in which everyone acts like they're in a classic musical. So it is a thing already. I
So it's
haven't
kind of
watched
like
it.
the Truman Show, but musicals?
Yeah, I guess
a little
so.
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Never heard
Who
of that
wants
show.
Who wants to see a reunion for High School Musical?
I'd watch
Well,
it.
I
they
do.
did a
Oh
10-year.
my gosh.
I know that, right?
They
But
did.
Zac Efron didn't show up because he was in rehab and kind of not
whoops.
accepting his past. And actually, so I think earlier I misspoke. It is 15 years this year, which means in January it'll be 16 years. There were some rumors circulating that they would do a 15-year anniversary.
Oh, please.
Because like a month or two ago, Gabriella, well, you know, the actress, Vanessa Hudgens posted like a picture of her outside of the school where they filmed it, and then so did Zach. So they were like, "Oh, why are they both there?" But I feel like we would have seen that already.
Already? Yeah. Or they're holding
want
out
it.
for the January 20th date.
Yeah.
I am going on record right now and saying I want
Deadpool's
I want
in
that. Blow me. Okay. D23. They'll announce it at D23.
Mm-hmm.
I bet they
So-
will.
Act 1 of this.
Or they'll wait for the 20th.
Oh, we're still on Act 1. Whoops.
Yeah,
Jeez.
we can move on. We're just having fun. We're just having
just
fun.
winging,
We're
dinging.
talking about it. We're
There was
having fun.
there's some legitimately funny lines in this movie. And I think
Name
this one
one.
was in Act 1. The listen, sawed off Sondheim. That cracked me up.
Who says that?
To
Sharpay
Kelsey. Yeah.
to Kelsey the piano,
This
which my
overly
sister's name is
half
Kelsey,
paid
by the way.
attention.
I haven't heard that line. Wow.
It was
like
a
I
good
never
one.
like processed
That
it.
was
Yeah, listen here, sawed off Sondheim. She's like
because she's
I
little.
don't. What does that
like a
mean?
sawed off shotgun, like
Yeah.
half of a Sondheim.
What's a Sondheim?
Stephen Sondheim.
Stephen Sondheim, this
Who is that?
Spencer.
playwright,
And You were in The
songwriter.
Music Man. You were in
Wow.
musical
Yeah.
theater. I mean,
I
Sondheim
told
didn't
you.
write The Music Man. Still.
I thought it was
told you
hilarious when
I was in the
Sharpay
musicals.
wrote
I
her
didn't know
name
a
on the
thing
call
about
sheet.
him.
Mhm.
She what?
when she wrote her name like all over.
She John Hancocked it.
So no one else could. Oh, were you going to sign it?
Were you going to sign it? Fuck off. Okay, we'll get the part. Thank you.
Yeah.
But their relationship, she and Ryan, that's a little uncomfortable, right, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Very.
Okay.
Like,
I'm here
yes.
for it. I'm whatever. What does this take place? New Mexico, right? Maybe that's cool there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Hey, Albuquerque, is this in the Breaking Bad universe?
I think so. They don't. They're
Where's
funny,
Jesse?
Funny, you should say that.
Yeah, bitch.
Because he's actually one of the background dancers. There was a deleted scene where that Troy and Gabriella actually have a chemistry class together, and Bryan Cranston cameos, and he goes up to Troy, and Troy's like, "Hey, Gabriella, I'm really in danger of losing the championship game," and he looks him in the eye, and he goes, "Listen, Troy, I'm the danger." And Troy's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. He scares the crap out of him. Then just goes back to teaching like it's normal. Deleted scene. Check it out. YouTube it. That's not real, but that'd be fun.
Thanks for that disclaimer at the very end.
Mm-hmm. So they get the call
Ryan.
back because they just happen to be heard. Everything is very convenient in this act specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I can't sing. Yes, I can. Okay, cool. So you can sing. Great. You're the basketball
So
player.
where did you have
you're
Act 1
attractive.
ending?
You can just do everything. Frickin' Troy Bolton.
Actually, yeah, let's just move on to Act 2, I guess.
Act 2. What do
Or
I
you
always
guys can make
say?
fun of me. Christian, you ready?
Christian,
Yeah,
you
let's
ready?
go.
Yeah. I liked his.
Actually, well, I want to talk about his mother and his father's relationship. Is there one? Is that his real mom or is that his stepmom? Because the atonement.
Just shut. Act 2.
Of course.
Move on.
Act 2. The entire school is in a tizzy because of the shake-up at the auditions, and through song, students start confessing secret hobbies, and the cliques are not having it. Stick to the stereotypes, guys. Gabriella and Troy have a heart-to-heart in a secret hideout with a painting of mountains behind them to prepare for the callback. Troy and Gabriella practice while being hunted by the Evans siblings. Coach Bolton has the team going first grade passing drills that even Joel couldn't screw up. Because they can't run the offense without him there. Everybody else is just pretty competent. Like, hey, work on passing because the only thing you're going to be doing is passing to my son, Troy. If anybody shoots, you're gone. Coach, Troy's painting boxes. Coach Bolton chews Troy out because he was being a high school boy, wanting to talk to a girl after practice because ball is life. The science team and the basketball team each have an intervention with their defecting members, but Troy plays it off like it's nothing, and Gabriella sees it all with the old hidden camera setup. This is the real guy plan worked out. Turn them against each other. Gabriella, surprisingly cool with it, by the way, sings her sorrows away and shoots a high school media class quality music video where she looks at the camera several times. Troy, that was the best takes we have, guys. Troy tries to tell Gabriella something, but lets the movie trope of not saying it get in the way, and instead chucks basketballs at a fence later in the day and has awkward encounters with Gabriella. The sciences, the sciences and the basketballs confess their plan, and Troy goes to tell Gabriella the truth outside her window, and that's breaking and entering, and whips out his big old fat sheet music. Troy is back. So is Gabriella. They go off in their respective practices and then head to sing practice. Sharpay and Ryan somehow have pull enough to change the audition date. So it's on the same day as the science decathlon and the big game.
They have executive privilege.
Apparently. And the teacher's just like, yeah, good point. What's your reasoning? And they're just like, cuz. And she's like,
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Let's do that.
Well, she might have had a motive to screw over Bolton too.
Also that.
In the background.
They should have made that more like that would be a great. I feel like I would believe it more if they had actually made that part of the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't make sense.
That's my biggest issue with the whole like Troy and are you done, Spencer, with the act thing?
Yep.
Description?
Yep.
I didn't want to interrupt you. All right.
Yeah, no, you're good.
They needed a stronger reason to create this conflict between Troy and Gabriella. Not just some, we're going to make you think that he said something out of context. Well, he did say it, but she heard it out of context. And I was watching that this morning and I'm thinking, well, this girl's supposed to be a genius and she can't see through that these kids are manipulating her against, I mean, they've been telling you the whole movie, like, like you can't be in music. You got to help us. And the same thing on the basketball side. I think it's more on the basketball side than hers, but.
Can I suggest there might be a deeper current underneath all of this? We are starting to notice a blossoming connection between Chad Danforth and I don't remember her name. Monique Coleman plays her. Taylor McKessie.
Yep. Taylor McKessie, okay.
And so I think really this is an excuse for the two of them to kind of work together and spend time together. Oh, you're friends with, the big basketball person. Let's try to, turn his girlfriend on him. And I can help him, the opposite. So that's kind of where I see it happening. It's them kind of teaming up together.
I think that definitely helped create their relationship. Through trying to ruin Troy and Gabriella's relationship, they're kind of forging their own. And then it eventually works out in the end through, simple phone call. None of that is what I said was true. I mean, I said it, but I didn't mean it. And it was all, they told me what they did and everything. It's like, that's simple. Like, if she heard that, she should have, why didn't she confront him and say, well, I heard you say these things. Why did you say them? And he could have said the same thing he said on the phone instead of her kind of, doing the whole, we're not going to talk to each other because of a misunderstanding.
So the whole...
Which is a trope in romantic comedies.
Yeah, and this whole setup thing where they do them both dirty and they, this is the part where I saw the Danny and Sandy thing. Because this is the scene in this is the scene in Greece where Danny's,
pretending not to know her, and
then like,
was he played by Sylvester Stallone?
Shove it.
Is that the remake? Is that the remake? Hey Sandy, I want you to know that
my two turtles, Cuff and Link.
When I'm in the ring, yeah, whatever.
all that stuff.
Anyway,
Sandy.
That's what I saw. That's where I saw the Danny.
Go Grease Lightning. Yeah.
Fuck it. Anyway,
that's a terrible.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
So anyway, they stole from Greece. No, that's all right.
Well, I was gonna say this whole movie is basically like a modern day interpretation of Grease.
Yeah.
Kind of.
A better
It's not
version.
identical. It's not identical, but it's in the same spirit, for a new generation of
or
high
a West Side
schoolers in the
Story
2000s.
kind of thing too. Minus
that.
the tussle,
the gang war.
Yeah.
That Romeo and Juliet too, a little bit of Romeo and Juliet
Without
they
the
don't
death.
have to be with each other.
Look at all
Except
these
it's
like
not between families.
things.
It's about cliques.
No
like it's
story
between
is
the
ever
cliques.
new.
Yeah, I suppose.
So
Originality doesn't exist.
So I'm sitting there and I'm watching
Mark
this
Hamill.
musical number. I'm watching this musical number take place after the buzzer beater, and I'm watching and I'm like, this is like kind of like Grease, but how is this better? It was this weird
I
realization
don't
that
know
just
what he's
flew
on
over
about.
me.
I don't know either. Sometimes.
I was doing Joel.
Oh.
Okay, first of all, that's in reference to.
Okay, first of all, nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on.
Rachel, you would agree this is better than Grease, right? If you had the choice right now to rewatch Grease or rewatch this, what would you pick?
I'll be honest, I'm not a Grease fan. I've
Me
never
neither.
really
Truthfully,
gotten into
Grease
that.
is a classic.
I just don't
Grease
like
is
it.
a classic, and this is a classic for like our generation. We're going to
I
be
don't
50
like it.
years old. And we're going to be like, we grew up on High School Musical.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
This was our grease.
That's just what I was thinking about. And
they call it oil.
Talking about the media class level music video, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we get these in-universe musical moments where they're either singing to themselves in their own imaginations or they're part of the actual musical, the auditions, where it seems like you have a distinction between all the good songs are ones that are actually like Breaking Free, Stick to the Status Quo is also one of those other ones. But
It
they
wasn't
deal
a
with like
dream. It really
most
happened.
of them they deal with emotions, and like Troy and Gabriella's emotions coming out through song, which is very powerful. But then you got these like shallower, generic kind of, oh, this is an example of like how a high school musical kind of actually is, where you got these students competing against each other. Some of them might not sing the best. Some of them might be arrogant and full of themselves and perform like Sharpay and her brother do. And coming around to my original point.
Oh, finally.
Just when she's like doing her like leaning against the wall, going like this and going like this and doing all that. And it's like, I'm not feeling it. This song, no. And then she just manages to find the most abandoned part of the school during the day, making her way downstairs, walking fast, faces past, and she's locker bound. And then she's done with the song. She's done with the song, and she walks into the hallway, and all of a sudden it's full of people. All the students are coming out of class, and she's...
Troy, sorry, the other day I was late for science class. Speaking of being late, I have a quote here that just didn't. It gave me the wrong.
Didn't get me.
The delivery was bad, and just the line itself was bad. Have you ever felt like there was a person inside of you trying to come out? And I'm like, yeah, that's called
metaphor for
that's called pregnancy, Gabriella. But it's a little strange.
Well, that's also a metaphor that people could use for like coming out of the closet or something like that.
Oh yeah, that.
If
too.
we're talking, I want to say the one line. I missed my chance in Act 1 to bring it up, so I'm bringing it up now. We're talking about lines that bother us. One line that has, and it's Disney, so they could do whatever the hell they wanted with this line, but one, because they literally own this line. One line that didn't belong in this movie that was completely dishonored. To infinity and beyond.
Oh yeah,
who said that?
Dishonored.
When Chad,
I don't know about
said
dishonored.
it. I don't know when the fuck, but I'm like,
which one's Chad?
Corbin Blue.
Chad. He's the
Chad
one who looks
Danforth.
like Chad. He's the one
my
who.
gosh! Yeah, no, I was just testing you guys. Of course, I know who Chad is.
I like that.
boy.
Yeah, I did get the Buzz
I was like,
Lightyear
come on,
thing.
that doesn't belong
I
here.
did
When
get
did he
that.
say
Don't-
that?
I don't even remember. It was
I'm surprised they should have paused it in that moment and did the.
yeah.
I was paying attention to this movie, but I was also trying to write the acts down and take notes. So if there's ever something where that seems like, did he even watch this? I did, but I also wanted to get notes down too. So I do not remember that part.
I love the fact that Chad is ribbing Troy about, oh, you're going to be in the musical called Twinkletown. Like, I guarantee you, you don't see Michael Crawford playing championship baseball or whatever.
He's on the side of a cereal box, right? Isn't that what he says?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't see
My mom
Michael
sees
Crawford on it.
Michael Crawford on the side of a cereal box. Yeah.
Yeah. And the only reason I know who he is, he knows more about musicals than Troy.
It's true. I'm impressed.
Yep.
Yeah. Phantom of the Opera 5 times. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
5 times?
So
My sisters
what if
watched
I
that more than
auditioned
5
every year
times.
without you guys knowing and never got a part? And that's why I have something against the theater class and never want anything to do with it ever again and don't want my best friend and leader of the team to be a part of it. So what if I have something against
There's
them,
a
a personal
background.
vendetta, and that's why I'm trying to sabotage your interview? So what if I know more about musicals than you? They're bad,
Okay.
is essentially the
No,
line.
but like,
Okay.
I think now that I'm reflecting on it, I think
No
he's
comment.
saying he wants to be on the side of a cereal box. He wants to be like on the Wheaties, like,
Yeah.
cereal
He wants
box
to be Michael
versus
Jordan.
just being Michael Crawford. Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
I'd rather
He wants to be the
Michael
athletic
Crawford than be on
Michael.
the side of a cereal box.
I didn't
I'd
know
rather
who
be
Michael
Tony the
Crawford
Tiger.
was until a while ago. Isn't he in Hello, Dolly?
So he was one he was
In
the
the
Phantom of
movie?
the Opera. He played the Phantom, but then he was also not Hello Dolly, but he was actually in the Music Man, I think. Wasn't he?
Okay.
No, that's a
Matthew
different
Broderick
Michael.
was.
I'm thinking
Yeah,
Matthew
the new one.
Broderick. Sorry, yeah, I don't know what else Michael Crawford is in.
I can tell.
I actually like. I haven't seen Hello, Dolly, but I love that song from Wall-E.
Oh yeah.
Put on your Sunday.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Hello Dolly. I'll be honest. It's kind of.
I
on
love
the
that
subject,
song.
on the
Never seen
subject
it.
of how much Troy kind of endures verbal abuse wise or, harassment essentially, not only from, his pals, but principally
His
his
dad.
dad. It bothered
Bless
me
you.
to know, and again, bless you,
Bless you.
that his dad was being kind of a toxic masculine POS,
Yes.
and
Yes.
Until
everybody
the
in
end.
this movie.
yeah,
is an
everybody comes
asshole.
around at the end. Big surprise.
He
But
didn't
Right.
even have a moment where like he saw it was like, oh, my son really can.
this goes
sing.
back to the thing.
They just threw it in there like,
but this
oh,
goes back to the thing.
we got to make him look like a good
where-
dad. Hey, have fun. That's it.
This is the
don't
part.
care.
This
And I
is
know
one of these
that's-
parts that is
Okay, go ahead,
not.
Joel. Sorry.
You can't really see any satire. It's straight up like just reminding you of a bad time in high school because like the sports people, by and large, at least in I'll just say from my experience, you played sports, you played fucking sports. That's it. If you want to do theater, good luck being
You're
accepted into
ostracized.
the, or like trying to do both because they didn't work with each other. No one wanted to work or compromise with each other. And B,
I
it
had
was
the
just a
opposite
us versus them
experience.
mentality. Although I will say, Rizzo, the actress who played Rizzo and one of my good theater friends,
Uh-huh.
she did both. She was a pretty damn good volleyball player, if I remember correctly. And so very rarely you have the overlap and the breaking the status quo, but this was just kind of made me uncomfortable. Like, damn, like his dad's being a real,
Well, I got 2 points on that, Joel. And then when he does kind of make it up to Troy and talks to him in the locker room, like, wish I could suit up and be out there with you. He even like makes it about him.
yeah.
When he's talking to him, he's like, if you can go out there, I want you to have fun. If you can go out there and do that for me, it'll make me smile or whatever. So
Because then I get to keep my job.
it's a work in progress. He still needs some work.
He's definitely
But-
stuck in the past. He misses when he can be out on the court,
He's trying to live vicariously through
Yeah,
Troy,
exactly.
basically.
Yeah.
And to Rachel, no, you're absolutely right. And I'll be honest, like I have a son and a daughter. I want them to do sports. And sometimes I got to catch myself like, okay, back off. They're just playing with a ball in the house. You don't need to critique their form. And I don't want to be the parent that's
Therefore.
like, you gotta, if they want to play sports, great. If they don't want to play sports, I'm going to be on the sidelines of whatever they do. Or if they don't do any of those, I'll come to their job and cheer them on. I don't care. Because, they're my kids.
That's why
but-
I like those Nicky Cass videos where he's like, when the
Yeah.
softball little league coach takes it too far, he's like,
Dude,
what are
he's
you
so-
doing?
He's uncomfortably accurate with his coach stuff.
Mhm.
Speaking as a
Going
former
out there with the
athlete.
baseball chicken wing. No.
every
was
time he
one of
does
my
a coach
favorites.
impression, I'm like, yeah, I didn't play
If
baseball.
any of you
but
are
yeah,
with the
lost,
that's true for
pillow
every
under his
sport.
referencing
shirt.
a TikTok gentleman, Nicky Cass, is that his name? Italian American
So
Yes.
gentleman
funny, dude.
who does a
What?
He-
It's overcooked. It's overcooked. Who did this? Who's
Justin,
the asshole who made this?
My buddy, best man, he was one of the few that broke the barrier. And people didn't get made fun of for that stuff
no.
back in, or at least in my whole high school. They didn't like mesh, but I was friends with everybody. But like he was one of the princes in Into the Woods, so like kind of a lead role
Yeah.
during. I think it was maybe it was in the off
Well, you
season.
said
but
he was the lead
starter
in
on
the
the
other
basketball
show, too.
team.
Right.
Like he was a starter.
Yeah.
but
Cool.
he had a thing for theater as well. So, and in the middle school, the stuff I was telling you about, we had a lot of athletes that did that, because in middle school, all
band.
the friends are doing it. It's fun.
Spencer,
theater's fun.
One of my mom's best friend's son, he was part of the Muskegon Big Reds football team, but he was also in the marching band. So during, halftime, he would march with the band in his football jersey and stuff. That just goes to that theme.
See, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
That's really neat.
And I went to a Big Reds game like a couple weeks ago, the home opener, and there's two, like, the drum majors are all cheerleaders.
Yeah, like, I'm down with that.
That's
Mix
cool.
the
And I love
stereotypes.
I love how this movie kind of, because that was probably a trope back then too, like we've been talking about the whole time, sports versus arts sort of a thing, which is a time.
It definitely still exists,
as old as time in school.
Yeah.
Exactly. But this movie, I feel, popularized the concept of making it cool to be both.
Yes.
Christian, if you can find the clip, time code this, looks like 126. 126.
Write that
11.
down, Joel, please.
Write that down, 12611. I'll try to find the YouTube link, but there's a link. There's this channel called, what's it called? They do a bunch of different segments. And one of them is like this something, it's like a spectrum thing where everybody stands on a middle line. There's a statement that's read. And then if you agree, strongly agree, mostly agree, you go to that side of the room, and then they have a discussion with the opposite side and stuff. And one of the episodes was, I don't remember I don't remember like the overarching. I think it was like a toxic masculinity was like the topic, I think. And one of the participants on it was like a former Pro Bowl, that's like the All-Star, Joel, NFL player. He was a, manly man, like Chris Long, who is Howie Long's son. Christian, you might know Howie Long. He's a commentator now, an analyst. But anyway, he was a defensive end for the Rams, and he is like a big advocate for like fighting against toxic masculinity. And he talks about, because one of the prompts was like arts and sports. Like, are they not the same or something? I don't remember. Again, you'll have to play the clip. I'm not doing it justice. But he argues that sports and arts aren't two separate things. Like, they're the same. Sports, that was just his art of choice. Everything can be an art, because in sport,
there's discipline.
Right. Look at like a play. That's an art. Everything has to flow smoothly. And in the end, it creates, ideally, points.
Athletic
or like
art.
An end of victory. It's how you get there. The art of working as a team. You have to work hard to be good at your craft, whether it's painting a picture or doing your assignment to help the team. You're just a piece of it. But I'll try to find that YouTube clip.
Marching band is also
like that, like he just mentioned.
Athletic.
What?
Oh yeah, good clip.
We're not convincing. No, but that's the clip, and it's just cool that this big masculine, like, I'm a sports, is like, no, dude, you don't have to, just because you're playing sports doesn't mean you're,
you don't have to be locked up.
My parents always used to like say, oh, football players, a lot of them have to take ballet classes. I don't know if that's still true or if that ever was true. I don't know. But like getting the footwork down and stuff. I remember that was always like, as a kid, you're like, what? And you're like picturing them like in their like full gear, but then like wearing like pink ballet shoes. But I feel like that was something that like early on it was like, wait a minute, like they're both very similar in a lot of ways. Yeah, footwork, blocking is a lot like planning out a play. Like, that's
balance.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they do ballet. I know they do some stuff. There's so many more like techniques and avenues for getting footwork down and stuff. But I think, a lot of them, like a lot of athletes are really big on like, obviously like mental health nowadays. So they take like their, like meditation is like a big thing, like yoga, stuff like that typically you wouldn't, like you'd never see Dick Butkus, linebacker for the Green Bay Packers, or the Bears. Wow, that was horrible. You'd never see you'd never see him doing yoga, missing a front tooth. Back in my day, the leather helmets. Yeah, well, back in your day, men hit their wives, and that was okay.
I was gonna say
so
that, but
let's
didn't know
evolve
if that
with the
was too
times.
far. Okay.
I mean, it's
No,
true.
yeah,
That's not cool.
The point is, we've come a long way. Like even thinking back to the school days, we've been talking about like our time. Like this, half of the stuff didn't exist, or half of this awareness, or movements for mental health, or were not being brought to the forefront. And now it's more of a thing. Think people are just more conscious of stuff and
accepting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to be limited to just one thing.
So Rachel,
So
the point is
that
that High School Musical.
Talk about High School Musical.
Oh yeah. Well, it's become a platform.
It kind of started
issues.
this stuff.
But I feel like that's what's so
Yeah.
beautiful about this film. I would love to just call out here, acknowledge the elephant in the room. You guys all started like, okay, not all of you. Christian was a little bit more on board. But Joel and Spencer were like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
We have to talk about all three. But look at the springboard of topics that this provided. It really
masculinity.
It gets people talking.
It does. No, yeah, and
Lots of topics.
I can definitely respect it. Like this will be the only time I watch these movies probably, but like I know for 2 and 3, I'm sure we'll continue to find things and we'll be kind of digging.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh, hi, Chance making his cameo.
Does it?
Chance,
Here,
boy.
It's
Here,
so
boy.
awkward because can you lay down or something? His ass is just always going to be in the frame.
Just let him be.
No, I know.
There he goes.
He's a
Let him
good boy.
be,
He's
bro.
a good boy.
That's just going to be a thing now that we're doing video podcasts. Chance is always going to make a cameo. Sorry about it.
Yeah, my cat was here.
Pets. But yeah, I'm
think
sure
it's time for
I
you to
will
go back in
find
the box.
little kernels and nuggets of things that will be brought out of these movies that we can like talk seriously about.
I think it gets better as we go,
Yeah.
but that's just me. I don't know. It's
No, I
unpopular.
think
know,
you're
they're
right.
banging
I
on
was just
pots
being
and
an
pans.
asshole.
Me too.
Yeah, Joel.
And
I'm
I'm supposed to be
never
one of the
seen the
lighter
second
people,
or
and
third
I'm
one.
crapping all, and I was crapping over it back then.
Come on, Joel.
I know.
I know. That's what I was saying coming into this. I told him at Uccello's, I was like, well, it's got half of something that you liked and were involved in, and the other half you hate the shit out of it.
Spencer, yeah,
Sports.
which
We kind of have. We're very diverse. Look, you got the athlete. Although my whole personality wasn't just
Oh, really?
sports.
What does that make Joel?
That's a thing. And then you have Joel, the theater guy, and then you have Christian, I don't mean this rude, but the nerd, and that's not a bad thing, by the way. I don't say that negatively. I promise. I
play the cello.
And then you have Rachel, who is
teacher.
Yeah,
I mean,
really.
right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like the moderator, really.
Like the Miss Darbus, you're saying?
Well,
Or
nicer.
Oh, I see.
Not quite as flamboyant and
Okay. I see all
Yeah.
disciplines as equal. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
the theater waits for no one.
Music
Like, no one
cow.
talks like that.
I'm gonna
music
say it. I
cow.
hate how she says
No one said it like that.
Yeah.
Like
Bugs
not
the
even
piss
the
out of
most.
me.
Yeah.
And it also bugs me. She does.
Meryl
Look,
Darbus.
nobody knows that little about sports to refer to with a basketball sitting on
a
the
goal
desk,
or
a hockey arena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although my theory is she does that just to get under
Yeah.
their skin because
Well, that's
piss
the
him
thing.
off.
what a
I think
basketball
she's
is,
kind
right?
of making some very calculated
But-
jokes.
That's
I
her
love
way
that
of
she's a
making fun of
drama
it.
teacher. She's a drama teacher or drama head, and she's just so dramatic in everything she does. Like like walking through the locker room and they're like tossing towels, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" Like,
Oh, look at all these penises. Sorry. I'm
There it
sorry.
is. We almost
Rachel,
went
I'm
the
sorry.
entire freaking episode. And then
I'm
we
sorry,
had to have it.
You turned
I'm
into Mrs.
contractually
Doubtfire.
obligated.
There is no
Contractually
penis
obligated.
contract.
Oh
No.
dear, it was a run by fruiting. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I don't
man.
work with tomatoes
Used to
on
be
account
one.
I used to be one.
Now we slipped it. Now we
Oh
slipped
my
into
goodness.
Doubtfire. Another thing we
Oh,
They
boy.
kind of look alike, Doubtfire
Darvis
and
and-
Darvis. They kind
Her
of.
glasses.
I see it.
But wait, something just hit.
What's up,
Something
Rachel?
just
You were
hit
saying?
me as we were talking about the spectrum of like, you know, you got your jocks, you got your theater people, and like nerds. But like, wait, where did Christian go? Oh.
We'll,
Yeah, where'd
we'll
he go?
experience that a couple times.
He'll be back.
Okay, good. But you know, you talk about like the Brainiacs, and there's no crossover between the jocks and the science decathlon, but you have you know, crossover between theater and the science decathlon. What does that say about the academics in the school? Is it only theater people can be smart?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they don't really touch that whole aspect, but like I don't see any crossover between those two groups.
Mm-hmm.
Fair point.
The
Over
basketball
which two groups?
players are not on the. Sorry, Christian, you missed it. The jocks are not involved in the science decathlon, but the science decathlon people can be involved in the theater stuff. So what is that saying about academics and how that
Like this-
plays a role?
Kind of the stereotype that sports or jocks aren't smart enough to be in decathlon.
I don't
or-
think you can even say that because Ryan's dumb.
Yes, he is. He can't even
You
read.
can't read Go Drama Club, yeah.
Get your man.
Go
Get
Dram.
your
Go
neck
Drew.
clap.
That part
Good
annoyed
try.
me. That part annoyed me.
Get
And
Good
that wasn't even
try,
funny.
Huh?
That wasn't
What?
even funny to me.
That's dumb. Sharpay should have just stabbed him in the neck with a microphone. I'm like, I'll do both parts.
With a microphone. Yeah, I'll do it alone. One woman show.
Oh. Everybody, bop to the start. I can't start. I can't start. It's over. That's me trying to play both parts. I don't
That's
know.
you doing Robin Williams doing both parts.
Yeah.
Please don't.
And I gotta go over here, and then I sing his part. Oh, bop, 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 bop to the drop. Oh no! And then I go.
You almost had it there. I still have never had a divine
We're dancing cha-cha
intervention like I did
birdcage.
when I blacked out and just became Robin Williams for Harry Potter and did that without stumbling over words, and it made sense.
It was hilarious.
I haven't had a moment like that since.
Madonna.
Do you guys play
Yeah.
back 3 then?
Yeah, perfect
Okay.
segue.
I guess
President
so.
of a hot dog.
We aren't even talking about the acts. These are just little breaks. Okay. My allergies.
Are
'cause
you
the
think you're
cats.
funny, Mr. Hillard? I used to.
I do
There
a good
was a
impression
time.
of a hot dog. Act 3. It's triple header game day and everything has to click perfectly to work out for all parties involved. Coach Dad talks to Troy pregame about just wanting him to have fun. Yuck, regardless of winning or losing. He doesn't mean that. A true dad move. Sharpay and Ryan warm up with some unrealistic, I believe, vocal exercises. There's no way those work. And the warm-ups for the game begin, as well as the scholastic decathlon. Taylor fries the gym servers, the electronics, because she's a computer hacker as well, apparently. So Troy can make it to the callback. All this happens while Ryan and Sharpay sing a song that I don't even think will be in the production. I don't know, but it's fun, I guess. Kinda, not really. The entire student body enters the auditorium to watch the audition. This is the real championship, people. They sing "Breaking Free" and figurative sparks fly and they nail it. The crowd goes wild and even Troy's dad is impressed. But it's back to the big game, and Troy hits the last-second shot to win the game, and Gabriella wins her smart kid thing, and Sharpay congratulates Gabriella on getting the part. Naturally, as you do, the school joins in celebration with a banger of a song. Well, the other team just pieces out again. I don't know. Like, oh, this is what they do. All right, I don't know. I digress. We're all in this together. post-credits scene of Sharpay finding the baking kid, what's his name, Zeke, to tell him his cookies are genius. Let's be honest. The way she's acting, that has to be because he put the old cannabis in the recipe, right? Those are pot cookies. They are, right?
Well, he did say he bakes.
Oh, no, I didn't mean I bake. No, no, my mom made these. I bake. Thanks.
Exactly.
Does nobody know what a creme brulee is? Like, they're like I made a creme brulee, and there's like,
I watched it on the
bake. And it's like, guys,
Great British Bake Off.
This is a hard dessert. If you knew what went into this, you would respect me for the try it.
During COVID, me and my roommate binged a lot of Great British Bake Off.
Your fake roommate, yeah.
It's actually good. It's not fake. He's not fake.
It's okay if you watched it alone.
He's real.
Dude.
He's real.
He's a person, and his name is. I'm just kidding.
Name is Garen.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, but I only brought that up because that's how I know what creme brulee is. It's basically a cake with it's almost like a really spongy, fluffy type thing, isn't it?
Custard.
It's custard.
Yeah, it's custard. You're
and
a
then
little
they use
off
the
there.
blowtorch to caramelize it on top.
And you
Okay.
So that's
crack
the
it.
thing. Like, it uses a
it's
blowtorch.
delicious.
Like, it doesn't get manlier than that. Come on.
Yeah, he
Right.
uses
Yeah,
the blowtorch
although-
and wears a
Shit.
welding mask to make a creme brulee.
Manly is a word that
Baked Alaskan.
sure, or Hawaii, but there is, or our friends at Texas.
Oh gosh.
I don't know where we're going with that.
let's- You
I
don't
don't
need to
know.
mention
Will you
Texas
stop
every episode.
insulting Texas?
Contractually obligated. I got to get them back on our side.
It's impossible.
Hey, no, it isn't. Watch
You
this.
pissed off a Texan,
Texas?
and that's why you attacked us with bots.
You guys in Texas, I'll say
Oh,
this.
here we go.
I think you guys are just you're something else. You're bigger,
Great.
and your food is big,
Wow.
and I only wish your intelligence
making it worse.
could match that.
Everything else. All right. Great. Back to the.
I can't, guys.
Well, we finally purged all of our Texas listeners.
San
They're all
Antonio's
gone now.
great though. Go Spurs.
They're gone.
Anyway, where were we going with this?
Not sure.
I don't
all right.
even
Act
know.
3.
We're
Baked
talking about creme
Alaskan.
brulee. But anyway,
Baking.
Act 3, baking. So
What are you running down the court? Guys, I made a creme brulee. Zeke, we're on defense. Okay. Chocolate
what
chip
baffles me.
All right.
What baffles okay, chocolate chip cake. Okay. What baffles me is how, and Spencer, you joked about this. What did you say in our chat?
Not sure.
It's kind of funny. It was kind of funny. Let me look it up real
A
quick.
lot of the stuff I said is
You
funny.
said something about oh boy.
Well, he's finding that. Rachel, what are your thoughts on Act 3? This ends very conveniently for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
This is
never
basically
mind,
what
I
you said.
guess.
In the basketball. I'm sorry.
we'll come back to you.
Spencer,
We're going to come back to you.
What'd I do? Did I interrupt somebody?
No,
Yeah,
it's
but it's
good.
okay.
Spencer was asking me a life-changing question, but it's fine.
Yeah, but you missed it. Go
Spencer,
ahead
ask
and
me the
read this.
question. Ask me the question.
I wasn't asking you.
Whoever you were
I
asking.
wasn't
asked.
talking to you.
Okay, here's the text. And the basketball team wins with no adversity. The nerds win with no adversity, and they get the part in the musicale. So support your friends in their endeavors and be nice to each other.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
the movie.
The plot that gets resolved pretty fucking conveniently for all parties involved.
Exactly.
It does.
And that's
Like,
what I want to
never-
say. Like,
Never
Sharpay
was it-
tried to fuck him over, and now she's all buddy-buddy with him and saying, we're all together because we stick together. And it's like,
You
you
stuck
did not
together
stick
with
with them the
nobody.
whole movie.
Besides your brother in
I
a
appreciate.
borderline incestual way. But
Yeah.
Do you think they must not have thought they were going to make a second or third one? Because we see, I mean, I know you guys are going to discuss the other two later, but like we see that same pattern every single time. Sharpay starts
Yes.
off the enemy and she ends, oh, we're actually friends. And then it's right back to being an enemy again. Like, I don't know what
She's like-
happens in
It's an
between
anthology.
semesters, but
She's like
Well,
Angelica.
your tendencies never leave. Like, look at Joel
No, I won't use that.
Well, you
as
can.
an
Go ahead.
example.
Go ahead. Finish it. Finish it.
Okay. No.
Okay.
Look at
Coward.
Like Loki. Look at Loki. He was like the villain, but then he was a good guy. But he always has those villainous tendencies. It's what people want. People want a villain.
There's some.
I feel like I knew.
Who are they going to get to be the villain? Are they going to establish a new villain?
There's nuance.
They
with
do in the
Loki.
third one.
There's no
I can't
nuance with
remember it,
Sharpay.
actually.
Where 1 minute she's a stone cold, not a word I'm going to say, and then
Right,
the
I would
next
never
scene,
call her
she's all
that.
buddy with everybody. I was going to say the B word, but I'm not going to say it because
Okay.
Yeah. Because why?
We've said.
I mean,
said.
that's true. Joel has been saying the F word, and
We
said
don't
it
censor
I
once.
said
ourselves. on
penis.
this.
Okay, she's a stone cold bitch.
Wow,
There.
Christian. Just because she's a... Sorry, I won't go there. Rachel, did Brandon brief you at all on what you may encounter on this show?
I told you I've heard bits and pieces.
She's
I know
aware
of
it's
our-
not a family-friendly
We have
show.
the E.
That's
We have the
okay.
E next to our podcast on Spotify and everything else.
Joel, I wouldn't classify it as friendly. Well,
I want
not to me anyway.
I want your assessment of how everything
Yeah.
wraps up. Being the
But I
resident
have one thing to say.
actual
I have one
High
thing to
School
say
Musical
about.
fan. Again, I just want her thoughts.
But we're doing a round table of Act 3, right? We're still on Act 3.
Yeah, and I was gonna start with
Oh.
Rachel.
Inside,
I
the
tried
men
it
can go
twice.
Okay,
first,
okay,
the
everybody-
men
No,
can go
hey.
first.
Joel, save yourself.
I try.
Rachel, why don't you go ahead?
So you just want my general thoughts about how it wraps up?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I lose interest every single time I watch it as soon as Gabriella starts doing her weird, like, dancing on the banisters of the 3-story school. Like, it's kind of, like, the best songs are already done, the plot just fizzles. The best part of the ending is that end scene where Sharpay is running through the balloons at the end of the game and praising Zeke for his cookies.
That's
But
the
then,
best scene.
Again, where does that relationship go?
Mm.
I can't remember.
A total dead end.
Fart
Which, I
in the
mean,
wind.
I guess that happens in high school, but like, ugh.
Yeah, valid point. And
I skipped that
you
scene.
said they probably didn't know they were going to make a trilogy.
Yeah.
Because
it was totally
I
they
wouldn't-
New Hoped it.
Okay.
I mean,
don't-
George Lucas.
And
they didn't
there's
know
the
if
Star
first
Wars
movie
reference.
was going to be
All right.
successful.
Somehow,
Speaking of
Sharpay
new interview
is a
with Ryan,
villain.
somehow Sharpay is returned.
Oh.
are you gonna
Waiting
Are
for my
you-
brother to come on stage.
are you gonna put up with us for the as the resident fan for the next two
You don't
as
need
well?
I would be honored. I feel like I might be the only one who has positive things to say about the other two. So,
Yeah,
in
we'll
that
have ya.
case, I'm willing to fight the good fight.
Yeah, we'll have you on.
You
It's up to you guys.
and Spencer
We'll
are
have
the
you on.
only ones who have seen those, other than me. I have not seen the second or third one. Neither
the
has Joel.
only thing I remember is Troy slapping water.
Well, I'm in. I'm sold.
Yeah,
Let's
that
go.
does happen on the golf course.
Rachel,
is
did
that the
Brandon?
second or
CGI
the third?
reflection of
I
him.
cannot
Yes.
wait until we
Rachel
talk
did-
about 2 because I.
With the pots and
We don't-
pans sequence that I showed.
Oh,
that
yeah. The second
I've
seen
one
you
is pretty
guys-
awful. The second one's horrible. The third one is where it's
Yes.
at.
We broke her. We got her. Got her. She
Oh,
thinks it's
man.
awful.
I've always thought
Troy
the
is-
second one was weak. Yeah.
Good, fair enough.
I just want to see
Usually
Troy
are.
start dancing out during the Waste Management Open at that
See,
golf
I
course.
have seen these, but I do not remember them.
I
hardly
know
at
that
all.
scene, and I don't. What is the song that he sings when he's singing out on the golf
Bet
course?
on it.
Bet on it.
Bet
I feel
on
like
it.
I've.
Bet
Also-
on it.
Oh yeah.
Pay close
see?
attention to the fonts that the golf club, country club, whatever, uses for their signage. Because I'm like 99% sure it's papyrus.
I was gonna say, please don't tell me it's Comic Sans.
No, not Comic Sans. I'm almost certain, like the valet sign, like the course sign. It looks like papyrus.
Well, we were talking about bet on it, bet on it, bet on it. Bet
we were,
but I think it's final thoughts.
Oh wait, was anybody confused why the evacuation plan was, when there's like mysterious fumes like floating around through the building, we just all go to the theater and
a tighter space
until we pass out from the fumes?
Oh, from the potion that they made.
Yeah.
Everybody out. We need to find a tighter space. We're going to breathe each other's air.
Okay, aside from that,
COVID.
The only remark I have to say about Act 3 is I thought I liked their little plot to get everybody into the whole hacking the scoreboard and thinking of a mixture that would cause that reaction so they could, even though it was dangerous, get them out. That's all I really have to say about Act 3 that hasn't been said already.
They almost killed people just so they could sing.
I like that it didn't. This wasn't all leading to
I know.
Right.
That just
it was
shows
different
how serious
in the
it
sense,
is, Joel.
Yeah, it was different in the sense that it didn't. It wasn't like the opening night or something. It was an audition that could have just been rescheduled.
Again.
Well, it technically was rescheduled. Yeah. Like, why? I don't know. Everything, obviously, in this is Disney Channel original. You gotta just be convenient. You can't put too much thought into it. Yep, all of a sudden she can click a couple buttons and change the scoreboard.
Why couldn't they have just missed the audition? They could have missed it like they did the first time. And then it could have been a callback, wink, wink, to when they missed it the other time when he was doing his little hide behind a push broom thing.
Well, they did kind of miss it. They were almost late. Remember, she's like, "Let's go," and then they run through. Wait.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Do you remember that part where they're like sneaking through the school, or they're like hiding from Sharpay and whatever, and Sharpay like kicks the door in the bathroom.
Yeah, to the bathroom stall. Nobody
I was like,
does
what
that.
if someone was in there?
They did a spoof on YouTube where it's like a scary movie trailer for Sharpay, and they put like scary music, and it's like her sneaking around. It's great.
I gotta watch that.
It's really great. I'll try to find it. Yeah.
The hilarious part of that scene though is Sharpay like turns, looks in the mirror, and goes like, and then walks out, and she walked right past.
Yeah. Yep.
Gabriella.
It doesn't make any sense.
Against the wall, literally right past her. You couldn't miss her. You'd have to have your eyes closed.
My least favorite part is when Troy's dad comes out of whatever door he's coming out of in like what looked like an alley, and Troy is behind a wall, and he's coming out smiling. And he's like, like he knows he's there, like he's gonna go talk to him, and then he turns, and Troy went.
Did like, you guys see? I know we're getting to the end of Act 3. I don't know what to say about it other than
we just started.
Breaking Free. I really like that song.
We have not even talked about the songs hardly.
I know the best songs of the movie. The start of Something New. I kind of liked that. I mean that part when
it's my go-to karaoke song. I'm just saying.
He sings his part, and then he hurries to turn around and get off stage, and then she starts singing, and he does that slow turn around and looks at her.
I hate his acting.
His
in that
facial
scene.
acting. His facial acting, I thought was great. Not the mouth movement, and his wide mouth thing that he did. But even my sister, I was talking to her about that earlier because we watched it when we were kids and stuff. She's like, he does that weird mouth thing where he
It's true, yeah.
Too wide.
Question, Rachel.
Yeah.
In universe, this song obviously exists because there's a karaoke version of it, and they seem to know it because they're barely looking at the screen and they know how it goes. Who do you think in universe, whose song is that? Who sings that song actually?
NSYNC.
No, I don't think
That's
so.
what I've never thought of that. That is so brilliant. I'm guessing it's the same person who wrote the music for Twinkletown. Michael Crawford's brother.
I don't think so.
Wait, no, the pianist did not write Twinkletown.
She was the
Kelsey
composer.
Nielsen didn't write Twinkletown.
So it's
She's
clear
a composer.
it's a well-known
Is she?
duet.
Yeah, he goes. So you're a
But
composer,
she doesn't
huh?
write the music for Twinkletown. Does she?
Yeah.
She has to. She's a composer.
She's the composer of it.
Okay,
This is
so
like an
how many
original
high
thing.
schools put on their own students theater?
None.
Zero. But
Scripts,
that's
like-
beside the point.
Not once, but twice. Because in the third one, you'll see they write that one too. Like, can we talk about how much time that would take?
Unrealistic.
Oh, it's a long.
Yeah, that would take. I'm not even in theater, and that'd be a nightmare.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
they've performed and wrote some in maybe at Grand Valley State University, but that's a whole
I
other
think you're
level.
right.
Literally,
That's
Grand Valley.
different. That's not high school.
Which, by the way, I forgot to
Yeah.
mention, I took Theater 101 back
Oh.
in freshman sophomore
I
year.
think I did too. I took acting.
James
process.
Bell was my professor.
Never heard
Jim
of him.
Bell. I don't know if any of you know him, but
Back to my original question:
Anyway,
Who
go ahead.
sings this duet? What two?
Eminem
two-
and
Be
Rihanna.
real. Be
And
real. Who were
Be
the?
real.
I'm gonna look up who like the biggest names were in 2006,
Nicki
and we're gonna see who
Minaj.
duetted. In 2006,
Eminem and Rihanna.
Chad Kroger. And
I'm
it's the start of something new. Hey.
oh
Cheryl
my
Crow and
goodness.
Kid Rock.
Oh, I hope not.
Oh, that would be so funny to sing these songs in the style of like real life. Like,
This could be the start. Got my
Head in the
Budweiser. Okay, let's see. Here's the
Creed.
top. Here's what we have. Here's what we have. It could be, guys. I think we found it. Think we found it. Give me a second. I think we found it. I know who sang this. So I know who it is.
Wake anyone up.
You didn't. I know who it is. I'm not even. It's.
Will you stop saying you know who it is? Just
It's
Saul.
Natasha. It's. Can you give me a minute?
Natasha
I think
Bedingfield.
it's pretty clear. Natasha Bedingfield and Justin Timberlake. I think.
Hmm.
Pretty sure. Pretty sure.
Britney Spears.
Yeah, but 2006 wasn't she still like bald then?
Toxic.
She was pretty toxic, yeah, but that wasn't her fault. Her dad kind of had a lot to do with that. She's finally free.
Aguilera. Can you imagine?
Wow. Nope,
We're
not that.
all in this together.
Oh boy.
And they say
boy.
that. That's Chad Kroger.
We're soaring higher.
There's not a star in hell that we can reach.
We're all in this with arms wide open together.
Well, I'm glad this turned into Creed the musical.
Oh man.
I would buy a ticket to that instantly.
Well, I gotta get my head in the game so my team
start to
can win the champion. Okay, so it's definitely Creed then. Not a duet,
Pop
it's just
till you
Creed.
drop.
Well, no, that's Shakira. That sounds like a Shakira song.
Oh, baby, when you pop like that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh my
boy.
goodness.
Yeah, we had fun
that
here.
is something.
Who else
We
could
did
sing
have fun.
Strange?
I don't
Sing
know.
strange.
Or has a
Sing
unique
strangely.
tone, has a unique voice.
Mariah Carey.
So many people.
doing some whistle
Weird Al.
tone.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Breaking glass, bro.
So,
I'd love to listen to a polka
Living
version.
in my own world. Stand understand.
that anything could happen with arms wide open. I only know 2 Creed songs, so if I can work them in.
No, you got to do the Chad Kroger.
I should have been dead. We're all in this. I don't know, man. I don't know. Joel, that's not
with
punk,
arms
though,
wide
right?
open.
No, definitely not punk.
Oh man.
So we're done with the masterclass in musical arts.
Even the guy from Creed thinks that's funny. I read a thing that he's like, my son pointed it out, and I was like, that does sound it's funny. The way he sings.
Great. Scott
Nickelback is another band that was probably big in 2006.
Oh boy.
Oh, for sure.
So I mean,
unfortunately,
they're very Creed-like,
What about,
but a little bit more like.
That would actually. I feel like Rockstar would work for Stick to the Status Quo. We all just wanna be. I don't know, like.
Yeah.
We all just wanna stick to the quo, the status quo. Don't you fucking know? Hey, that can work. I like that.
I like the
Christian always with the yeah, okay, but yeah, Nickelback. I don't get the dig on them. Okay, High School Musical.
Who's the
Act
guy
3.
that? One more thing, the band that sings that song from Grey's Anatomy. Where
No
did
idea.
I go wrong?
Five for Fighting?
No, that's not Five for
No,
Fighting.
or that's
Snow Patrol.
The Fray,
The
right?
Fray.
Oh, the Fray.
Fray.
I always get those
Yeah.
two mixed up. Yeah.
I thought it was Snow Patrol.
It's the start of something new.
I don't know if that's.
That
yeah,
is what
I
they
guess.
sound like.
Yeah, it is, but I don't. Their voice doesn't fit with that song. Okay.
No.
Oh man, this I honestly can't wait for the next 2 because I don't remember them. Except for the
never
water
seen
slap.
them.
They're good, dude.
Are you talking about the water slap because he's like singing and he runs by the pool or whatever and he like.
You'll just
You'll
have
see.
to wait and see.
You'll see.
You'll see.
You'll just
That's
wait and
for
see.
the next
Bro,
episode.
Speaking as an actual fan myself, you'd probably love it.
There's some great scenes for sure.
There's some bangers.
I actually almost wanted to watch all 3 of them in a row, but I didn't have time.
Is the
tempting.
second one the golf course one?
Yes.
You get to
And
see
the
the,
basketball
inner workings of a country
scholarship?
club.
Of
I think we
course
need
they
an
are.
undercover boss to run that, run a segment on that.
On this
Country
episode,
club.
Troy Bolton goes undercover to see the Golf Country Club. His father owns the place. Let's drop in and listen into a conversation they had. So do I just clean the balls then? Or I'm not the CEO, so I wouldn't know. Joel, what are your final thoughts on High School Musical?
I've said them already.
Great, so we
like
can
I
move on.
said-
If you're-
Okay, my turn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, at the heart of it, the movie does have a great message. We've talked about it. Do what makes you happy, even if it's not the traditional thing.
Exactly.
And other people will be more comfortable to, yeah, okay, well, guys, actually, I bake. I'm a baker. That's great. One of the
I
nerds.
like
Actually,
hip-hop.
I murder
play the
squirrels in my
cello.
spare time. Awesome.
Wow.
Do what you like.
So he's anti-Bob Ross.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we've all kind of shared our. I think we can call it unless Christian has another atonement of the father bit.
Okay.
All
I
right,
do wanna
don't give
say
him that.
One
All right.
last remark.
No, but Christian, you usually have the best insight. You usually play us out.
Oh.
So
I just like the movie. It brings me back to kind of simpler days in terms of being in high school and
yeah,
not having to deal with so much. I mean, we weren't adults yet. I was in middle school actually when this came out.
Yep.
I mean, simpler days not in the sense of what happened in terms of my context of my family, but in terms of just like at how old I was and the things I was able to do and enjoy and don't have enough. You know, you grow up, you have to deal with other things. Just brings you back to those nostalgic memories. And looking back on it now through a different lens, it makes you think of like the themes of like. I like what I said earlier about kind of drawing attention to the whole sports versus arts and how you don't have to stick to one. You can do both, and it can be cool to do both. Like, it could be cool. You don't have to be just stuck to one thing.
I actually, speaking of sports and arts,
it might have actually caused an uptick on joining theater. I don't have statistical info on that, but or even band or anything like that.
Look at all the sports stars that think, like the NBA guys that think they can rap now. Music and sports are kind of, they're hand in hand. And some of them pull it off and others don't.
It's about that time. It's about that time. From Space
No, I was thinking
Jam.
more like Shaq, but yeah, yikes. No,
Green eggs
I
and
was just
ham.
going to say something. Sports.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I equate, like, I would probably get the same, like, adrenaline rush from, like, hitting the game winner or catching the winner, a big play in a game, as I would, like, just having that show-stopping number, all eyes on you, and the stage is yours, and you're just singing the song. Like soaring, flying, that, all eyes right there. That's the showstopper, one of the showstoppers. Like, I'd get that same, like, let's go. You know what I mean? I can't screw this up. The biggest stage, literally and figuratively, if you're on a field or a court, something like that.
You said stick to the status quo gave you that feeling, too.
It
like
did,
when
because
they changed the key.
Any song that does that, and it just, you know, like, it has that, like, that stadium feel, like that epic feel, like the da-da-da, and then ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-doo-boo-ba-boo-ba-doo. And I'm Christianing, but you know what I'm talking about, where any key change just gets me
just
going.
before the chili cheese fries fly in the air, right? There's the key change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking at me.
You know, this kind of reminds me of a really high quality song. Smash Mouth, I believe, said it best. You know, you get that same rush, whether it's like, hey now, you're an all-star, or hey now, you're a rock star. We got sports and music pumping us up both ways.
I think you're being funny, but that's actually really accurate.
No, I'm being funny, but I also am being real. Yeah.
And they knew it. Smash Mouth, ahead of their time.
Get your game on. Go. Play. All that glitters is gold.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Great.
I don't know.
We'll talk off here. We'll sing it together, Christian.
It's a good, entertaining movie for what it is. It's not too deep.
It's fun.
It's got
Don't
some
think too hard.
It's got some interesting themes in it, but it's
That
the
might
last
not turn
great
out right.
Disney Channel original movie, in my opinion.
Which, another just technical thing, you can tell that it was made for TV because the screen will go black when there should be commercials.
The commercial breaks, yeah.
Every time I knew there wasn't going to be, but I'm like, all right, let's get a toy commercial. Never got it.
Zoo Books.
Zoo Books.
No, that was Cartoon Network. That was
Nerf ball. You throw a perfect spiral every time.
That's
with the Nerf ball.
Dude, that's one of the things I miss from watching
And it whistles.
Disney Channel and Nickelodeon were just the awesome commercials that played in between the
Never a
commercial
political
breaks.
ad. Love
Nope.
it.
You get Nintendo commercials, Nerf commercials, putty
Nickelodeon
commercials.
did more of that. Disney was mostly just self-promoting. It was like, oh, this
Yes.
other show's gonna be on
I remember
tomorrow.
seeing the music
You're right.
video
You're
for Get
absolutely
Your
right.
Head in the Game. I remember when the movie was, when High School Musical was coming out, they had like, oh, and now let's see a special music video from the new High School Musical coming out in January, blah, blah, blah. I like I said,
That's what made me put it on the calendar on the fridge. I was like, this looks amazing. Yeah.
My
And
school
I remember that guy's voice.
did High School Musical, and the movie was better.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you've
But,
insulted
it was
your
entertaining.
school,
No, I'm not insulting the school, although it was adorable because... No, actually, that didn't happen. Never mind. As I was. Nothing.
All right.
Not relevant. Christian, play us out.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to another new episode of Sequel Men the Podcast. We've talked all things High School Musical on this episode with Spencer King, Joel Powie, and special guest Rachel Popp. special guest star, wife of our good friend Brandon Popp. We're so happy to have you on, Rachel.
It's been an honor. Thank you.
It's been so much fun, and it's interesting because we've never had you on here before, and you're such a big fan of High School Musical. It's good to get someone who knows what they're talking about on here once in a while.
I hope we didn't make you feel too uncomfortable at all ever. And my hope is that you got to say everything you wanted to say. But if you didn't, again, hope it didn't scare you away. My plan was to have you on for the entire franchise. If you would like to do
I
that.
would love that. I don't want to overstep my bounds, but like
You're
will
not
be
gonna.
here for it all. Yeah.
Okay, good. So great.
You're
It sounds like
invited and welcome.
okay,
We'll get Christian to talk less so you can talk more.
I need to shut the hell up. I'm sorry.
I think I actually
problem.
talk more than
I've
you.
done this for 2 years now.
No,
and it's probably got
3.
2 years
No.
worth of my mouth running.
No, it's 3 years, but no, you're fine. Like, we joke and mess with you, but you don't. If anything, I think I actually talk more than you do. You just have more insightful things to say, and I just go on rants about Creed and penises. I don't know.
What a combo. All right. Well, that's it. You can listen to us on Podbean. That's where we host the podcast. Spotify. I totally screwed that up. Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podcast Central, wherever. I don't know if that's a real thing. But wherever you like to listen to your podcasts, you'll find us there.
Yeah, he threw me off with Podcast Central. Did we just create our own platform? Okay. Where was I? You really threw me off. Social
contact info.
Get us on the Facebook. Follow us on the Facebook. We're posting more. Joel is posting more too, so he look for him.
I'm trying.
He'll plug himself here pretty soon. But Instagram. I did just post kind of a cool picture of my patch with the sunglasses for Top Gun. So we do use that. We do use that when we think of it. And do I even have to mention Twitter still? Or
Probably not.
Okay. Email sequelmen19@gmail.com. Send us one. I think Joel is actually supposed to talk about that.
No, it's
I'm
fine
so
because
used
now
to
I
talking
can.
about
Now
it.
I'll talk a little bit more about YouTube. So yes, I have been working on getting us video versions of each one of these episodes now, starting with the 100th episode onward. We kind of made a new pact to try to create video versions. So I've been on that as much as I can be. It has been a very technologically challenging time for me as a person who, up until now, video has been the bane of his existence and still is. But I am challenging myself. I'm pushing myself with a new skill. I am trying to bring you guys a video version of our podcast each episode. Now, one thing we're going to throw out there, the video and the audio, they're going to be different every time. You got two different guys. Christian handles the audio, I handle video. That's just part of our unique flavor of Sequel Men. So, and a device to try to drive you to download the podcast. But we don't need to talk about that. Just visit the YouTube channel. I post. What do we have up? We have Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick up now. So check those out. This one will be up there before too long.
Spencer's favorite movie.
Yeah, try to leave us reviews places too. Those help.
And we welcome feedback. We can't improve if we don't fix things that you don't like. So,
like penis and Creed.
Quick sidebar.
Like getting rid of Joel's.
Quick sidebar. Rachel, have you guys watched Maverick yet?
No, we have not. Do I need to watch it before I listen to your episode?
Oh, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Dude,
yeah.
it's so good. Oh
probably.
my gosh. Rent it now.
Okay, we will.
I'll give you my login. I bought it at 12:04.
No, we are not pirating. We are not doing things the illegal way.
I bought it.
Support. Okay, well, still.
You can borrow movies. People borrow movies. Anyway, do whatever you have to do to watch the movie.
We will watch it. Yeah, it's on our list.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's
anyway,
very,
thanks.
very good.
Also, I had no idea this was being actually filmed, so I'm sorry if my face was like half hidden the whole time.
Oh my
No.
god.
Oh, that's fine. I
Don't
like to
perfectly
hide my face. My dog's ass was on camera, so it's fine.
I think Rachel.
Maybe it's good. Maybe no one has to see me. I'll just stay like this the whole time. Yeah.
Don't sell yourself short. Hey.
All right.
That's it. That's it for us.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Okay, what do I need to do? I can stop recording.
Well, in just a minute. We got to sign off. We're going to sign off. Christian, do your thing.
That's right, everybody, because we can't wait until the next one.
That's right, Christian, because here at SequelPeople the podcast,
all films are created sequel. Bop, bop, bop.
Bye-bye now.
Bop to the top.
But actually don't.
Gun.